Welcome to the July 9th, 2020 meeting of the Code Enforcement Board. We need a roll call. Madam Secretary.
Ms. Kundig.
Here.
Ms. Himes.
Here.
Mr. Harrington.
Here.
Ms. McLean. Ms. Roby.
Here.
Mr. Gonzalez.
Present.
Okay. I guess everyone is aware that
C. Cortland.
Ms. McLean resigned.
That was,
So-
she was going to go on that trip, is that the reason?
I don't know what the reason
Yeah.
was.
I thought that.
I haven't talked to her, but she did resign. Okay, so we're down to 5, which is just, we'll suffer through. We may have some new people next month.
Yeah, we should have one approved at the next board meeting.
Okay. Has everybody had a chance to review both the minutes from the workshop and the meeting minutes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion, Mr. Gonzalez. Second?
Second.
Second, Ms. Himes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. Does anyone need to disclose any ex parte communication?
Yes.
Okay.
Case number 15. This goes way back to the last meeting.
That was in March, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Garcia and I were approached by this person in the parking lot. We did not discuss anything about the case, and there was a police report filed, and I don't feel that it's going to affect my judgment on this, so I'm not going to recuse myself. But I want it to be known that that this incident did take place, and I'm sure it's a public record that and somebody wants it, they can get it.
And that's
Mr.
correct.
Gonzalez?
That's correct. The individual approached us, left us in a threatening manner. I'll see you again kind of thing. But I will not be prejudiced by it because we have no control over other people's attitudes and behaviors, and we're here to serve the community equally.
Okay. And I also was made aware of the incident when a police officer came to my door and asked me if I had been approached by this person, and I wasn't, so I have no issues. I'm not going to accuse myself either, but, okay. That's that. Okay, so Captain Lee, you want to say a few things? And
Yes, ma'am.
okay.
My name is Scott Lee. I'm the District 2 Patrol Captain. I oversee code enforcement as well. So I just wanted to talk to you guys briefly about some of the protocols and procedures that have been put in place here at City Hall to facilitate this meeting occurring. And I'm just going to run through a little bit just to explain the process. But basically, as people arrive there, the officers are contacting them outside. They're directing them down a path that goes kind of underneath our stairwell area. Down there's another officer that's asking some of the precursor questions that officers normally ask when they go to calls for service that are related to COVID. It's a couple of screening questions. If you know, for some reason somebody had a concern that arises from some of those questions, we would probably ask to continue the cases. Okay. But under the circumstances, we're evaluating those questions and how they answer them. We're doing touchless temperature monitoring. We're giving people the option to provide their cell phone number to wait in their car or wherever they'd like to wait off-site until they receive a phone call about their upcoming case. And as their case is approaching, we're contacting them and calling them to come back. We are letting a few people stage in the lobby. It's about 3 cases at a time. So in the meantime, if they don't want to leave the site or they don't want to provide their cell phone number, they're provided an opportunity to either wait outside in front of the stair area where there's a speaker set up where they can hear the meeting. They are also provided an opportunity to wait inside at 149B, which is the room that's basically directly below us. And there is video monitoring of the meeting down there as well, so they can watch and monitor the meeting from there. There's hand sanitizer at each of the doors. We're requiring that all people wear masks. We've set the room up different. You probably already noticed. Your inspectors will probably be most likely speaking from where I'm standing. Attorney Jackson will either be speaking from here as well, or he'll be speaking from his table over here. the respondents will be coming in at this door over here, and they will only be allowed, as you can see, a couple of feet into the room where there's a podium where they'll be addressing their concerns. At that point, once the case is over, they'll be leaving that same door that they've come in. That's really the extent of how far they'll get into the room. We obviously, because of the different protocols and how spread out we are, we've gone from 1 police officer to 3 police officers, and that's in order to maintain the integrity of the security of the building, just because we're spread out and Cortland can't watch all those areas. Let's see. After the meeting will be sanitized with one of our sanitizing fogging machines, which is to just kind of take care of whatever the rest of us might have brought into the room. We encourage and require that everybody keep their distance as best they can, wear your mask when you can. Sometimes you're going to see that, it's just easier for you to speak. You just pull the mask down, speak through the microphone. They do sometimes muffle your voice. If somebody's having a hard time hearing you, it's okay to do that. Don't feel uncomfortable about that. We just ask that when you're done, just return the mask back to where it's supposed to be. Do you guys have any questions about the protocol or procedures?
No, I think you've done a wonderful job. Thank you to everybody that was involved in
there's
setting
a lot
it
of
up
staff
this way.
involved in this, and they worked really
sure.
hard. Yeah.
Looks
There's
like
a lot of
everybody
IT in a
worked hard.
normal meeting, but the IT guys have had to do 100 other things because of all this too. So
good job. Thank you,
Yeah.
everybody.
Yes. All right. Any other questions for me?
Okay. June, do you have any announcements?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
If I can get there. Case number 17, page 7, CEB 02-20-27 at Loomis Avenue, parcel 5339-82-04-0060 is in compliance 7/7/2020. Page number 11, case number 34. It's CEB 04-20-74 at 1116 Clearwater Road is in compliance 7/8/2020. And that's it.
Okay. Thank you. All right. I guess that's it. So we'll start. Code officers, please stand and be sworn in.
What's the last one?
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
Okay. I'm just going to go through this quickly. What our procedure is, we're going to be calling the cases by number and most part in order. When your case is called, please come forward, be sworn in, or go to the mic and be sworn in. State your name and address for the record. If you're not the owner of the property, please state your relationship to the owner. Our proceedings are recorded, so please speak into the mic. The board hears from code officers first, and then you'll be given the opportunity to respond and direct all your responses to the board. I'm hoping that we'll get finished by 11 or 11:30 today, and we'll just move along as quickly as we possibly can under the circumstances.
Madam Chairman, I do have, they are texting me the numbers of the cases that are here.
Okay. Well, let's get our lien reviews done, and you guys can work on that. We'll do our lien reviews first, and then we can do the others, starting with the old cases of people who are here, and then the new cases of people that are here, and then we'll just go through the rest of it. Okay, so we'll do lien review number 1. That is CEB 04-414-28, 129 Pierce. Is the respondent present? No. All right.
Oh, wait. Oh, no, go ahead. Sorry.
No,
I thought it was LR1 that just arrived.
Okay.
That's right. Okay. They're not. Okay. Case, it's not here.
Okay. All right, Mr. Jackson.
The this one where you would like to pass it and see if they should appear before
No.
we?
No,
or-
thank you.
Okay. So- Well, let me say, Anthony Jackson, attorney for the city of Daytona Beach. Whichever way you feel you'd like to handle this, Madam Chair, we're fine. The understanding they're not here, typically either you deny or you reset it, one or the
Right.
other. Continue it.
So they were notified, and they know that this is coming up, and they took the time to write a letter expressing what their feelings were about why they should have this lien review. So what, I don't want to just pass this item. I think. we
Are they
need to get-
required to be here for us to review the lien?
No, there's no requirement.
No.
It makes the case, no requirement, but it certainly helped their case.
Yeah.
They're asking for relief.
So our choice is to either rule on this or pass it.
Correct.
And we can pass it on for a later,
I mean,
Is that what everybody thinks?
I don't know.
My thoughts are that we need to rule on it because this case is back to May 18, 2014.
All right.
And so I think they've had plenty of time to deal with their issues and
This is
certainly.
another one of those cases where the property was sold with the lien attached to it.
Uh-huh.
So let's just, I feel we should just hear it.
Well, can I finish my statement?
Yeah, but, I mean.
Thank you. But in the letter that they wrote, they indicate that they put the house over to the daughter, for the daughter to work on it and bring it into compliance. So that didn't happen either. And during that time, and didn't know they bought another house. So I think there are some compelling issues here that we really need to address.
Okay. Any other thoughts? So, do we want to consider the case right now? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, opposed? All right, so we'll consider the case now. I think Mr. Gonzalez brought up some good points. The house is in compliance. I'm always happy when a house is in compliance. But some of the excuses were pretty flimsy. I didn't know, I didn't know, I didn't know. And as you said, they bought another house in the meantime, and so, and what is the recommendation of the city?
Madam Chair, I move that
Mr.
the
Jackson.
said penalty be imposed.
Okay, you want to hear what the city says?
That's what
Okay,
you said me.
we'll hear what they say.
Excuse
Madam
me.
Chair, the city will call John Stinson, who is the inspector.
Okay.
He will speak to the
Okay,
violation.
Good morning, John
Good morning.
Stinson, Code Inspector with the city. Qualifications are on file. This case began back in 2014 with dilapidated fencing, peeling paint. There was a fine imposed of $75 a day. It maxed out at $10,000. Since then, this property has changed hands, and the new owner brought the property in compliance, and that's the one who requested the lien review. Since the new owner brought property in compliance so quickly, my recommendation is to reduce the lien to $1,500.
okay. Any comments from the board? Mr. Harrington?
I move to accept the recommendations of the city.
I
Oh,
second.
Excuse me.
Lien review one just arrived.
Okay.
Well, I just made a motion that I don't think they're going to do any better. So I move that we accept the recommendation of the city and fine them $1,500.
I second that.
Reduce it to $1,500.
Pay within 30 days?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, the chair will entertain a motion to reduce the amount of the lien to $1,500, subject to being paid within 30 days. The motion was made by Mr. Harrington, seconded by Mr. Gonzalez. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Okay. And she's, well, that's the best we're going to do on this, so
Yeah.
let's do lien review number 2.
Reduce to 1,500. They're not.
Okay.
He say 2?
2 is on his,
R2 was on this one.
her way up, right?
Yes.
The date of this is CEB 03-0961. This has been hanging on for a while, too. I guess we can talk about it a little bit. There's a lot of interest on the first lien.
It's been in defiance for 11 years.
Uh-huh, yeah.
Half of it is interest.
Oh, that might be better. Okay, shall we go on to number 3?
They're here.
Who?
Lien review number 3 is here.
Shall we just then go back to 2 if 2 shows up? Did we say 2 is here?
He's coming now. Someone's coming.
Okay,
Two.
Any way,
thank you.
I know it's not protocol, but any way you could put 3 over there in the corner? So we
Well,
don't
they
have to
could
wait.
stay out there, because they can
Outside.
hear. Yeah, they can hear.
I got
Sir, could you state your name and address, please?
I'm speaking on behalf of my wife, Margaret Knox, 641 Fremont. My name is Ben Knox.
Okay.
And I'm speaking on behalf of my wife, Margaret Knox, the property, 641 Fremont Avenue,
Okay.
Daytona Beach, Florida.
Is she going to testify as well?
No.
Okay.
No, I'll speak on her behalf.
Okay, raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Mr. Jackson.
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, this is for a lien review. And the inspector that's addressing this is John Stinson. The inspector originally had the case. It's no longer with the agency. As you can see, this is a case that resolved a long time ago, and it's for whatever the cause was not remedied as it related to the fine and lien. Mr. Stinson, having reviewed and looked over the circumstances of the case, is recommending a reduction to $2,500. And I turn to Mr. Stinson if you need to ask him anything further, but that's he's just a subsequent review of the case.
Okay. Thank you.
I would make a motion that we accept the city's recommendation.
Okay, well, let's let Mr. Mr. Black, Mr. Knox, right?
Yes.
Mr. Knox, speak. Yeah, we didn't see you up here. We're just trying to get used to this. Go ahead.
First of all, I'd like to say good morning.
Good morning to you.
The members of the city of Daytona Beach. And I just wanted to come down today, speaking on behalf of my wife. The house that we have right now is for sale, and the sale is pending. If you read my notes, I can read them for you. The house is for sale. Our realtor, fortunate that she couldn't be here today. She was going to speak on our behalf. And I know the gentleman there mentioned that it's been a long length of time, but 2009 is my memory. Okay, but with that situation, me and my wife at the time, thank God we're retired now, but during the time we was currently working, and like I said, it's no excuse. No, it's no excuse. But one thing I can tell you, if you don't know a thing, you don't know. We're talking about two previous addresses. I live at 1648 3rd Street, Daytona Beach. The home that my wife had, that's 641 Fremont. Both parents are demised on my wife's side, and we did everything we possibly could to try to keep the upkeep of that house. It is a large house. We did some things in the house. I also have pictures today in my smartphone, a current look at the house. And I'd like to thank Mr. Mark, the inspector, for coming out and looking at it the way he's seen it. We went in, we made corrections. We did make corrections. And I just wanted y'all to, in fact, I got the pictures on my phone if you'd like to look at them. Okay, reason why I said that, we had, at the time, we have a living relative, my wife's brother-in-law was staying in the house in 2009. They sent out a certified letter for my wife. We did not know anything about it. I don't know, it was a signature on there. And he stated that he didn't sign it. I wasn't there. I can't say he signed it or not. But I'm here. That's no excuse. But if I did go down to the DeLand, the county place there, change the address, because when we knowed about it, we was told that if the address was changed at the time, you would have known about it. And like I said, I told my wife, I said, well, I'm gonna go out here and plead our case. And on the first letter, it was to whom may it concern, I like the code enforced to know that I was not living at the house at 641 Fremont Avenue. My brother Gary C. Black, which is my wife's brother, was living at the house on 641 Fremont at the time. I was not aware of the lien of the property at 641 Fremont Avenue until the title company found the lien on the property. That's why I know that the code violation until the month of June 2020. And then it also said, okay, the bill, I did all I could to keep the house livable for those years. I lived on a fixed income and retired. My brother-in-law, Gary Black, contact number, which I put on there, 386-307-3399, and he can verify he lived at the address of 641 Fremont Avenue at the time that the city of Daytona sent the certified mail receipt of notice of the hearing that I didn't know about at the time. Second letter, to whom may it concerns, I humbly request that the city take in account my misunderstanding of this code in 2009. I set aside the lien and interest in good faith recognition of continued compliance of upkeep. Also, my time, paid taxes, water bill, And I understand the assessment cost of administrative fee and fairly, excuse me, one of my letters is cut off, but I can remember in my head, reflect the cost that I can proceed with this sale on the property will be restored by the new buyers and become livable for the neighborhood.
Okay. I appreciate that. We've read the letter. So let us discuss it for a minute and we'll decide what to do.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did we have a motion on the floor?
Yeah,
Mr. Gonzalez
Yes.
made a motion to reduce the lien to,
The city's recommendation, however, I would like to revisit that motion. As the previous case, the amounts are very similar, and we lowered it to 1,500. I would change my motion to read that we lower it to 1,500 instead of 2,500 in order to do equity.
all right? Mr. Gonzalez has made a motion to amend his previous motion and reduce the lien now to $1,500. Second, Ms. Himes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. There you go, sir.
All
Thank
right.
you. Have a nice day.
Yeah, thank you, and thanks to all the members.
Okay.
30 days.
Thank you. 30
And
payable
30
within
days.
30 days.
Okay, who would I pay it? Could I pay it
I'll send you an
downstairs?
invoice. I'll send you an invoice. I'll
Okay.
email it to you.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
You have the right, we have all the addresses correct now, so you get that, right?
Yeah, the
Okay.
current address would be 1648 3rd Street, Daytona Beach, Florida.
Okay.
Zip code 32117.
All right.
When is the closing schedule?
The close, we supposed to close on the 29th of the house.
Okay, we'll be able to have that to them before then, June?
We should be able to.
Okay, yeah. Thanks.
Thank you.
You'll probably get the invoice tomorrow. You can pay it downstairs in utility billing.
Okay, I'll pay it today.
Tomorrow, you won't get the invoice till
Oh,
tomorrow.
okay, tomorrow, pay it tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, now we'll move on to lien review number 3, CEV 0319-39, 405 North Halifax. Is the respondent present?
Yes. State your name and address, please.
Melissa Parlett, 405 North Halifax Avenue, Unit 205.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Okay, well, let the code enforcement people speak first, Mr. Jackson, and then we'll give you a chance to respond.
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, this is before you for lien review, and then inspector in this one is Mark Jones. So Mr. Jones has reviewed the request, and there are a number of things. As you can see, this was something where it was first notified in November of 2018. It took a pretty lengthy time to come into compliance. It was a window issue. The respondent did keep Mr. Jones informed of these back orders and the delays in obtaining the window, and that became pretty much the main issue. And Mr. Jones is to $2,000. And I would tender Mr. Jones if there's anything further you'd like to know regarding those facts.
How much reduction you said?
To $2,000.
From 15.
Yes.
This is income property?
Yes, I presume so, since it's
Yeah.
Mr. Jones, yes.
Okay, okay. Any questions for Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Mr. Jones, on what basis are you recommending such a huge gap in
the reduction?
yes.
The original, it was a rental inspection that failed back in September of 2018. It just had two issues, a garbage disposal that didn't work and a window that didn't work. What happened was then the property owner replaced the window, and when I went back to inspect it in April of 2019, she hadn't got a permit for the window. Again, there was no life safety issues. Then took her another year before she got the permit issued and came into compliance. But because it wasn't a major life safety issue, didn't feel that it was justified the full lien amount.
Okay. All right, any other questions for Mr. Jones? All right, Ms. Paulette, what would you like to tell us?
Well, I just want to say that in the beginning, my husband had just passed away from cancer, and he had handled all the rentals, and I had moved 3 weeks after he had passed and everything, and of course, I changed all the address that you can think of anything, but I didn't change the address to the property appraiser's office. So when this first came up and was notified about the window and the garbage disposal, I immediately changed out the garbage disposal and put in a new window. And then I thought I was in compliance, and I never received any notices from the court because they didn't have my forwarding address. So I didn't even know that I was in non-compliance till I received the letter from the attorney's office. And so I immediately called, and then I found out that that a permit wasn't issued, and then I also found out that the actual window wasn't hurricane, so it wasn't to code. So unfortunately, I had to replace a new window with a new window, but I immediately did that, and so now there's a new window in there, and it's permitted. So.
Okay, so this is a whole window, not just like a window pane, but a whole window?
It was a double slider window. Mm-hmm. So.
Okay. Does the board have any questions for the respondent?
I have one.
Any comments? Go ahead, Mr. Gonzalez.
Question. During this time, was the property rented out?
Yes. Yes.
I just feel $15,000 is too much of a fine for a window.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of misunderstandings, and time is going. Right. I'm not, maybe 1,500 on this too.
Okay, is that a motion?
Yeah, it's a motion.
Oh, do we have a second?
Second.
Second, Mrs. Himes. Motion, Mr. Harrington, to reduce the amount of the lien to $1,500, subject to being paid within 30 days, where the fine will revert to the original amount. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like, sign, opposed. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, so we're finished with our lien reviews. So what we'd like to do, what?
30 days.
I did say 30 days. I don't know whether she knows that, but it has to be paid within 30 days. Okay. All right. Let's go to our code cases of people that are here. We'll take the old cases first. You want to do it that way? Is that all right with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Case number 9 is the person here for the next case.
Okay, case number 9, which is on page
5.
All right, never mind. I'm amused by
Page
how.
number 9 is first because people are here.
Yeah, we're just doing the ones of people that are here now, so they
Thank
don't
you.
have to hang around the building. Okay.
State your name and address, please.
My name is Floyd John Mastronardi. I live at 402 Auditorium Boulevard.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Always, yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Good morning. We'll let Mr. Jackson speak first, and then we'll give you a chance to respond.
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, this is before you for imposition of a fine. The inspector in this case is Mike Fitzgerald. Mr. Fitzgerald states that the violations still exist. In fact, this case started back in April of 2019. At least as in my last communication with Mr. Fitzgerald, nothing had been done. So to our knowledge, at least to his knowledge at that point, nothing had been done. It's requesting a fine of $100 per day to a maximum of $10,000. And I would attend to Mr. Fitzgerald for any factual questions you may have.
Mr. Fitzgerald, so you've had no contact with,
No, I've had contact with
Okay,
the gentleman, and update was that he has pulled a demo permit to demo the garage.
It's getting to a bad point.
oh, yeah.
I'm sorry.
If I can ask to what date was the demo permit for?
The demo permit, let me see. I don't have that, sorry.
What about the rest of the house, though?
Yeah.
That needs.
There's been no change from what I've seen.
Okay.
Does that affect your recommendation?
What, the demo permit?
Yes.
Yeah, okay,
No.
okay. All right, Mr. Mastronardi, well, you were supposed to be selling this house to Home Solutions, is that right? What
April-
happened to that?
April 20th, I went to Maitland to close on the property, and they didn't show up. They didn't even call. This is Home Solutions. I had a letter of intent to sell that I had signed, that y'all may have a copy. They didn't show up. So I went ahead and pulled a permit, and then a week later, I
So
saw
when-
him drive by with and videotape, so I made a call to City Hall, found out I needed a demo permit along with the work permit. So that I got that, and I got it posted now, and
So you have a demo permit, but you don't have a permit for the rest of the work that needs to be done, is that right?
correct. I think that the work permit and the demo permit I pulled was for the garage at the moment.
Only the garage?
At the moment, yes, ma'am. It's only, I live by myself. Week by week, I try to make do.
And now, we're not talking about April of this year, we're talking about April of last year that you were notified, right?
If you say I was, then I probably was.
Okay, yeah, all right, so so it's been quite some time that the house has been in,
I suffered quite a bit of hurricane damage. Yeah. And I intend on taking care of this.
so what are your plans?
I had intended to sell the property, but they didn't show up. So I'm going to try and do what I can to get the garage down and then start work on the rest of the property. But it's going to take me some time.
Mrs.
Especially-
Himes? Okay.
I have to save up money for the dumpsters so I can get the garage down. And then from there, I can work on the roof because I'll have access to the steeper parts of the roofs.
Mr. Fitzgerald is...
Wait a minute, Mrs. Himes wanted to say something.
Mr., is someone living in the house now?
Just me.
Is his resident?
Mr. Fitzgerald, is this in the CRA?
It's been a long
No.
time.
It is the Main Street redevelopment.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is
Yeah.
in the CRA. So
Yeah.
you're going to have to deal with them on certain changes. If you're not familiar with that, you're going to have to
The
contact...
permit was applied for on 6/10 and for the demolition,
It's gonna expire.
and issued on 6/25.
Issued 6/25.
Yes, ma'am.
So that was just a couple weeks ago.
Yes, ma'am.
Motion.
Tell me who's going to demo it?
Oh, I will be.
Oh,
I'll be renting a dumpster. I have to save up for that. And then I'll have them pull that up to the garage as close as possible. And then I'll start taking it down. First the aluminum siding, and then the wood structure itself.
Okay,
I have a question for him.
go ahead.
And so you said you're gonna do it. When are you gonna do it?
On my days off, Mondays and Tuesdays. During the day, I work nights. That's pretty much why my house didn't look like this before.
It what?
It's taken time for this to happen. My house didn't look like this before. This happened all within the past 5-6 years.
When did it start looking like that?
When my friend passed away, and my dad, and then my brother, I've been dealing with, I just don't want to talk about my personal problems. I'm had some issues, but I'm coming out of my own depression, and I realize that this needs to be done if I'm to. I don't want to be on the street. Because if I lose the house, I will be on the street.
I think that the city's position,
No, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I think the city's
ahead,
position
Scott.
is that this case started, back in April of 2019. There's been really no action, no correction. We haven't made any forward progress. And then right before this hearing, an application for demo permit for one part of the problem is pulled. It is applied. It does expire in August. I don't hear a clear timeline of when it's going to be demoed, and that's our concern.
Okay.
So I have a motion.
Go ahead, Mr. Gonzalez.
My motion is that we find them in non-compliance.
Oh, well, we've already done that, so now we're imposing a
Oh,
fine.
impose a fine,
Yeah.
okay. That we impose a fine of $100 a day to start in 60 days, to give him some time
Thank
to take care of it. And at which time, then we take our next action.
I'm not quite sure how legally that works. Can we?
We can do
How well,
We
let's
can't
ask
do
the
it.
lawyer.
Okay, and we
Let's
did.
ask the lawyer.
Go ahead.
This is,
He said
I
no.
didn't hear him.
Okay, go ahead,
Okay.
Mr.
this case,
Sino, would you explain why we can't do that?
You can't order him to go, say, financing.
I don't think he did.
Tell him to come in compliance. You can give him a date to come into compliance.
no, he said 60 days.
No, what Mr. Gonzalez was asking, I think, was that we hold off on the fine for 2 months and have it start on the 2 months from today.
Right,
Yeah,
60 days.
that's fine.
Yeah,
We can do that.
Okay,
right.
I would,
I disagree.
Go ahead,
I
Captain.
mean, it creates some, I guess, some procedural issues for us as how we handle the order. Those orders aren't exactly written that way. I mean, it's not that it can't be done, it's just, it would just be a deviation from the norm.
Well,
Tony, did you want
I
to
have
speak
a
to that,
question,
son?
though. I mean, that's only talking about the garage and
Right.
the demo of that. What about the rest of the house?
Right.
It's been in compliance and non-compliance for the rest of the house.
well, I'm talking about coming into compliance fully in 60 days.
May I?
Now, as far as,
Not gonna
this is
happen.
not unusual. This has been done in other cases.
Yeah, I think if we look at the terminology a little different, I think what he's talking about is an auto fine, but instead of it being next month, he's saying 2 months before the auto fine. So a compliance date being set in 2 months, and then failing to come into compliance, that an auto fine go into
All right,
effect.
so.
I'm not asking for it, I'm just explaining it.
Okay, so,
Okay, the only
Go
thing
ahead.
I have wrong with this is that it's an old case. And he's supposed to come back, which would be today, for a fine up to $1,000 per day. Because
Up
we've
$100
given
a
time.
day.
I'm saying up to.
Yeah.
We can do up to. Yeah. That's the problem.
Well, I would entertain any friendly amendment to my motion.
Well, he was already supposed to be in compliance by May 6th.
Yeah.
And that
Right.
didn't happen.
I'm sorry.
Madam Chair, I move that we do a.
all right, there is a motion on the floor. So the motion on the floor is to amend the previous order of noncompliance and, let me see, change the date of compliance to, that would be 9/10,
It would actually be the cutoff date.
the cutoff date of 9/2/2020, and the fine of $100 a day up to $10,000 would be imposed starting at that time.
Correct.
Why do we need to change the order of non-compliance? He's already been in non-compliance. We were here to impose the fine.
Because we're not imposing the fine today.
We are imposing the fine, we're setting the
He
date.
remains in non-compliance.
We're imposing the fine and setting the date for it to start.
I think this is the kind of the confusion I was referring
Right,
to.
I'm sorry, that's,
Can I just, if you were wanting to do something like that, I think the option that you could take is that you could give him until, not next cutoff, but the one
Right,
after that.
9/2,
That
yeah.
would be approximately 60 days, and
Right.
you could reassess the fine at that point. I mean, that's not what the city's asking, but
that would be simpler to me. That's what we normally do. It would be
Yeah.
simpler if we want to give him extra time to come into compliance, which is what you're doing, is giving him extra time to come into
Yeah,
compliance.
I'm doing that with
think-
great reluctance, quite
My
frankly.
thing is, look at all the time.
I-
Just had
And
already.
I tend to agree with that this is, you
The way he
know,
does it, the way he's recommending, in case we come back here again, you automatic. Here's compliance for that day, it starts.
Right,
Just saves me having to hear it twice.
right, right.
doesn't matter.
We've done this before, I don't know what's.
It's not unusual.
okay. All right, well, let's rule on this motion. Mr. Gonzalez made a motion to impose, I thought I stated it all right, but to impose upon a fine as of September 2nd, 2020, of $100 a day up to $10,000.
Second.
And a second from Mr. Harrington. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nay.
Nay. Like sign opposed. So
Yeah,
it passes 3-2.
Yes.
Okay, so you have 2 months, Mr. Mastronardi, to get that house in shape, and if it's not, then the fine will be imposed automatically.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank
Are you
you.
picking up the, everybody?
And he won't,
3-2.
he won't be coming back here then.
And you won't be coming back here, the fine will just be imposed, and they'll let you know.
Automatic.
Automatic. They'll just send you the notice that a fine's been imposed. So we gave you some time.
Yeah, life's pretty hard, isn't it?
June.
I appreciate what you've done
Okay,
and your patience.
okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Good luck. And what's the next case, please?
Case number 12,
Case number 12, CEB 07-19-148,
Thunder?
Josephine Anderson Estate.
Oh.
Good morning.
Good morning.
good morning. Could you state your name and address, please?
My name is Andrea Anderson. My address is 501 North Keat Street, Daytona Beach, Florida.
Case number, please.
CEB 07-19-148, case number 12,
Oh, okay.
same page. Okay.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to hear from Mr. Jackson in the city first, and then we'll talk to you.
Madam Chair, members of the board, this is before you for imposition of a fine. The inspector is Mike Fitzgerald. Mr. Fitzgerald reports that the previous order was for her to, was in addition, that should also have been ordered to secure the property to city standards. It has been secured to city standards.
It has been?
That's what Mr. Fitzgerald reports.
Okay.
And he's asking to amend to the next cutoff, and I will attend to Mr. Fitzgerald to explain that further.
Okay, Mr. Fitzgerald?
Good morning, Mike Fitzgerald, City of Daytona Beach Code Enforcement. My credentials are on file with the city. This is the one where Josephine, Ms. Anderson, was getting a company that,
Rebuild
to rebuild
Florida.
Florida, yeah,
Right.
to redo the house, and she was going to come
Right.
here and give us where they're at this point.
Okay. Well, all right. It was approved by Rebuild Florida, so we need to know where we are now, Ms. Anderson.
Yes, right now, I went to, on, I think it was the 19th of June, she called me and she told me that in order for them to start, I would need to pay the 2019 property tax. So on June 19th, I went down and paid the $1,886.57 for the 2019 property tax. Then she sent me this letter saying that she asked me, would I like to have an accommodation for the house? So she sent me a letter of reconstruction of replacement for reasonable accommodation because I'm going to have a knee surgery eventually. So they wanted me to have this filled out by my doctor so that they could make the house handicap accessible at that time. So on June the 30th, the doctor was in because she was out for COVID, and she filled out the paperwork, and I sent it over to her, and I'm waiting on her to tell me now when they're going to send the pod, because she told me they was going to send a pod for me to remove all the stuff out of the house and put it in the house, and then they will start to begin. But she didn't give me an actual date. But all my paperwork...
Are you still living in the house?
Not right now. I'm living with a friend. A friend
Okay.
allowed me to stay with her.
And the house is secured?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the city's recommending the next cutoff, what,
Next cutoff.
next cutoff date? I mean,
For
this
an
process
update, yeah.
is taking forever.
Yeah. Mr. Fitzgerald, I'm confused here. What's the big problem about removing outside storage, trash and debris?
The outside store's been removed, the truck has been removed.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that has been
Yeah,
done.
that was done, and the house has been secured, so everything. Except for the roof and the damage from the
Trying to
hurricane.
compliance, but not.
Okay, so we're dealing with the roof and the paint.
Yeah.
Okay.
Questions, comments? All right, the city's recommended, well, it doesn't seem like anything gets done very quickly, so we can amend the previous order of noncompliance and allow respondent until 9/2 to come into compliance or be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day.
So moved.
Motion, Mr. Gonzalez. Is there a
Ma'am.
second?
Second.
Second, Ms. Himes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries.
Ma'am, if she gives me a date by that time, after the second, you're going to still fine me every day?
No, we're going to bring you back here.
Yes, ma'am.
And then you're going to explain it to us again and say, well, we just gave you 2 months.
Okay, for them to
And
get through. Okay, thank you.
Basically, we gave them 2 months to
Okay.
get their, are you telling them that you have to go before code all the time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I text her, I phoned her this morning from here, but their office is closed due to COVID, and they're working from their home. And I called her several times, and when I sent the paper, I mailed it from her because she was just waiting on the reasonable accommodation.
Okay.
And she got the reasonable
All
accommodation
right.
on the 30th.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
But that doesn't, so they got, I guess I should have asked you this
The reasonable
before.
accommodation is they're going to allow me to pick out the model house that I want, but based on the fact
So, but what do we do with this house? What are they going to do
they're
with
going to
this?
demolish it, they're going to knock it down.
Okay, got it.
Tear it
Thank you. Okay, just wanted to have that on the record. All right, thank you.
You're welcome, thank you.
All right, next case, please.
Case number 18 is the next.
Okay, case number 18, page 7.
Thank you.
This is CEB 03-20-65, Kathy Mutsopoulos?
Mutsopoulos.
Well, there you go, Mutsopoulos.
You're free to call me Kathy. It's
All right, Kathy, thank you.
Okay, raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Jackson, what can you tell us?
One moment.
Okay.
Here. Let's get my sheet up here. Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, this is before you for imposition of a fine. The inspector is Mark Jones. Mr. Jones reports that this property had failed a rental inspection on November of 2019 for smoke detectors, windows, GFCI, electric, exterior finishes.
I need you to stand up.
He had received mail from the owner on 5/27 of 2020. That the windows were going to be about 8 to 10 weeks out because of factory issues. Okay, I got some numbers that's not making sense on my paper, so I'm not going to say it, and well, I'll correct. I have to look to Mr. Jones to clarify that. So, but he'll explain a little bit more on that issue.
Yeah.
But on June of 2020, he had requested a copy of a contract to be brought to this hearing. So the property is unoccupied. It's been since September of 2019. We're still where we were before in many ways. So Mr. Jones is asking for a fine of $100 per day to a maximum of $15,000. I'll tender Mr. Jones. He can explain whatever these uncertainties that I had.
Mr. Jones, so is the only thing left to do the windows and the inspection? Well, we don't even have an inspection yet, right? Or
Yes, it has to be re-inspected, and I apologize to our attorney for some misnumbers on my cheat sheet, but this was before you folks on March 13th, and you gave the owner till June 3rd to come into compliance. As Tony said, on May 27th, I received an email from the owner that said that the windows were 8 to 10 weeks out. On Tuesday of this week, July 7th, the owner sent me a copy of the contract, which was signed on July 7th, 2020. So I mean, we have not been making much progress with getting this done, but the property has been unoccupied the whole time.
okay, what would you like to tell us, Kathy?
Here, Christina, stand up. This is my daughter. She was in the 3rd grade.
Hello.
On the 26th of March was my last day of work, because on the 30th I spent 2 months at home homeschooling, finishing up 3rd grade, which I'm very proud I got done. But in the meantime, I had gotten a different quote from a different company, and they told me it was going to be
what?
Quote. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear it. I mean, just
okay. They'd given me a quote and a timeline, and they didn't follow it. So I went to Allied and got a quote from them. In the meantime, I got waylaid with homeschooling. And I also, when Mr. Jones emailed me and said, you only have the quote, you need a signed contract, I called Allied and they said it's 10 to 12 weeks out. So I called another company, Progressive Builders, who a client of mine is friends with, and I asked them if they could get it done by the July 7th date. And they said they could, and it would be twice the amount, but they would get it done by now. Well, they didn't, and I was like, well, I have to have this signed copy of initiation, so I went and did, since the other company promised they would have everything started, or at least going it by this point, I was like, okay, let me just go back to my original company that gave me the quote. So I was really trying to get it done by a third company, even if I had to pay more, but they didn't pan out. So I do have them, that they are set, but it is the same company that I did get the thing in March. But I was also closed for, my business was also closed for like 10 weeks because of school.
When is the windows going to be in?
They said 10 weeks.
From today?
From this 7th. That's been my thing. Anytime I talk to them, they said, you know, it's 10 weeks, it's 10 weeks. I'm like, 10 weeks is too long. How come it takes 10 weeks? And that's their, I don't know. I was trying to get it done. But the other company that said they could get it done dropped the ball.
Didn't get it done. Okay.
We might as well, like, make a motion that we give her till the cutoff at 9/2 to come in for compliance.
Pardon?
What, we're discussing what to do with this case now and whether to move off the compliance date again for another couple months because, oh, that's what we're discussing.
I can only tell you, you know, I'm on a condo board, and we cannot find very many reliable contractors who either bid on the job or when they do bid on the job, show up. It is absolutely impossible in this town to find enough legitimate contractors, and you can start out 10 weeks and it's 20 weeks. Right now, it's probably 6 weeks before you can get your trees trimmed. So it is a problem.
It is, I agree.
And not to encourage people to dilly-dally, but I think any of you having work done are pretty darn lucky if it's done in 30 days.
All right, so, and what I see too is that there has been movement on this. In other words, she does have a signed contract, and also, it's not being rented. I think that's important too, so.
I have a question about
Go ahead,
the motion.
Mr. Gonzalez.
Is the motion just to move it to 9/2 or with a fine to start
No,
at that
a
point?
fine to start, because she can't get a contractor,
Right.
so.
Well, she's got 6 months. I mean, 60 days.
60 days.
To get they said 10 weeks, they should at least be started by the time she would show up.
Right.
At the next meeting.
So if she comes back to us, then we're going to revisit the fine issue. Is
So
that-
when she comes back, they should be in the process of finishing up, so there shouldn't be any fine levied at all.
Well, when she comes.
Well, we'll discuss that when it happens. Right now, what's under consideration is just changing amending the previous order of noncompliance and allowing the respondent until 9/2/2020 to come into compliance or be returned to that meeting for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. Is that the motion, Ms.
Yes.
Roby?
Yes.
Second?
I understand that.
Okay. A second, anyone?
Second.
Second, Mr. Harrington, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. Okay, so let's hope that by then you'll have this really started and gone and done, okay? Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good luck.
Thanks.
All right, next case, please.
That's the last of the
Old cases.
Old
All right,
cases.
so we'll move to new case if somebody's here.
And new cases on page 9, we have 24, 25, 26, and 27 are here.
24, 25, 26, 27, page 9, all on one page. Okay.
None of these other people are here?
No. All right, we're going to do case number 24, CEB 04-20-67, Eva Knight on 542 Cannon Street. And we're just here today to see if you're in compliance or not in compliance.
State your name, please.
Mary Moore.
Sorry.
Mary Moore.
Mary Moore?
And are you also going to testify?
Yeah, this is my mother.
Are you going to testify as well?
Best I can, yeah.
What's your name?
Joseph Simmons.
Simpson?
Joseph,
Simmons.
J-O-S-E-P-A.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, and raise your right hands, please. Do you solemnly raise your right hand, please?
I'll declare, I'll say, but
Yes, ma'am. If you could raise
I will tell the truth, but I don't swear.
Well, I'm just going to ask you to affirm.
Yes, ma'am.
Confirm.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I'll tell the truth.
Okay, thank you. All right, we're going to hear from the city first, Mr. Jackson and Mr. Fitzgerald, and then we'll hear from you, okay? We'll give you a chance to talk. But we're
Yes,
just
ma'am.
here today to see whether you're in compliance or non-compliance. We're not going to do anything else today, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Michael Fitzgerald for the city. The property shows to be in non-compliance, and we're looking for the next cutoff for it to be in compliance.
Okay, and what paint, it's just the outside paint,
Yeah,
painting, and there's some peeling, and the rest is fine? That's
Yeah.
all that needs to be done?
yes.
And they were first notified in October?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Has anything happened since then?
I was talking with the neighbor. They said that they had been, people have been coming out to give them estimates for the painting.
Okay. Mr. Jackson, want to add anything?
No, Madam.
Okay.
No, Madam Chair. One of the things that I have been doing over the last several meetings is on the compliance, non-compliance inspector, since most of the, if there's any factual information, that's really all you're really looking for in that.
Right.
So they tend to bring those
that's fine.
cases
Absolutely
themselves.
fine. Okay. All right, Ms. Moore, what would you like to tell us? Can you hear me?
Well, I'm trying to, in process again what he said. They told me to paint it, that trimming and thing. And I said, well, that's what I'm working at now. I don't know why the man hasn't showed up, but he had promised me that he was coming around.
And
to
when
get
did
it.
he make that promise to you?
That was before the 4th, that he was supposed to be there.
Yeah, so because this goes back to October.
October.
Yeah, when you were notified that something needed to be done. So when did
I don't know what
when
gonna
did you call-
happen, because I
Okay,
ain't never
when-
tried to fight or be
When
in.
did you call this person?
When he was here, me and him went over there and walked around there just
Okay.
before I think it was the weekend coming up to the 4th.
Okay.
We walked around and it showed him.
And now he hasn't called
I
you
ain't never
back.
had no problems with trying to be in no compliance, and they never had to be in here before in non-compliance about anything, praise the Lord. And when I got word of what was going on, then that's when I started trying to work at it. But I ain't never tried to.
Do you live there?
No, ma'am. Nobody lives there.
Nobody lives there?
And nobody lives there, praise the Lord. But we've been keeping it in check and trying to keep it cutting whatever they cite me on. I try to go on and have it done,
Okay,
praise
good.
the Lord.
So it needs, what they're saying needs to be done is painted.
But that's what me
So
and
that's
man
what
had
you're
walked
trying to
around
do.
there, and
Okay.
that's what, and was showing them what was needing to be done.
Mr. Joseph, is there anything you want to add to this?
Yes, what she's saying is that we
You
did.
speak into the mic, please.
Just for the record.
Just for the record, so we can
Okay,
hear.
yes.
Okay.
Madam Chair.
We are working with the panel. You know, I live in Jacksonville, so I'm coming back and forth. If I was here, we wouldn't be having this problem, period. But we got to do what we got to do. Now, in terms of that side with that molding, now we can come in and treat that and get rid of that black stuff on that wall, but we got to get the painter. But it's gonna take us time because she don't have the income. And so I have to try to work and do whatever we can do to try to get this done.
Okay.
So we're not trying to flam the city in no way, you know, and we intend to do right.
Okay.
So we're asking for more time.
Well, you will get more time. You automatically, you're just here today. We can see pretty much that the house is not in compliance and that it needs to be painted. We can see that. So what you need to do is start working on it real fast, okay?
Okay, can I say this? Now, I'll get with the painter, and we probably gonna have to do this thing in stages based on what we can
That's fine. You
afford.
can come back
to do.
and tell us
So
what
we
you're
can-
doing, but you need to do something. We
Yes,
can't
ma'am.
you come back here next time and nothing's been done. It's not.
I understand.
Okay, so the chair will entertain a motion to amend the previous or, no, that's not where we are. We're not, we're on new cases. To find the respondent in noncompliance in order the respondent to come into compliance by the next cutoff date, 9/2/2020.
The next cutoff is 8/5.
Oh, I'm sorry, 8/5. All right, I'm going to start over. The chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in non-compliance or respondent to come into compliance by the next cutoff date, August 5th, or be returned to the board for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 per day. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
All right, motion, Ms. Roby. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Ms. Himes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. So get started. You have 30 days to get started, okay?
Okay, now,
What you say
you
about?
said we got 30 days to get it started.
Well, you better do something, is what I'm saying. It's supposed to be in compliance by that date, and you'll come back here and explain to us what's going on. If it's in compliance, you won't have to come back here.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
All right.
thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Case 25 CEB 04-20-93.
Take your time.
Henry Wright Trust. Respondent present? Good morning.
Morning.
State your name and address, please.
Henry Wright, 1305 Overbrook Drive, Ormond Beach.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to hear from Mr. Fitzgerald. You're just here today we're going to determine whether you're in compliance or not in compliance today, okay?
Okay.
Non-compliance next cutoff.
Okay, and he's recommending non-compliance next cutoff. There seem to be a lot of issues here with this house. Is this rental property?
It's rental property. It was a eviction that was done on a tenant, and he ended up doing some damage to get code involved, and that's what that is all about.
Well, it looks like there's also exterior work that needs to be done.
Yeah, we have started.
Have you started that?
Yeah, we have. That's it right there now. Yeah. That's right now, and then the ones before you would see where the trim was green and everything. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, so we've started the improvements on it now.
Okay, and you don't live there. You live in Ormond, right?
Correct.
All right, so you're first notified about this last October, and so that's when you needed to do an eviction?
Correct. And we had done the eviction, I think, earlier, and then that's when he turned around.
Okay, how many units are in this building?
It's 3.
Excuse
So
me.
you have no tenants in any of the buildings?
Just one is occupied, the very back unit.
Okay.
Who,
Mr. Harrington?
this is a trust?
Yes.
And you are Henry Wright?
Yes.
Okay, I just was confused.
Okay, does the board have any questions for Mr. Wright?
Do you think if you can get it done in 30 days, or do you need more time?
I need a little bit more time because we're also doing some electrical work on the inside as well.
On the inside, and have you applied for permits for any of this work?
Yeah, we have one that was done with the electrical, and then we'll have the plumbing done probably within the next 3 or 4 days.
Great, okay. All right, so what we're doing today is finding you in non-compliance
Okay.
and giving you 30 days to come into compliance.
Can we give them
And you'll come back there, or probably, I see that you're actually working on that. Would you like to give them till the September cutoff?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes? All right. Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in non-compliance and respondent commit to compliance by the cutoff date of 9/2, or be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day. Such a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Ms. Roby, second, Ms. Himes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries.
All right, thank you.
Okay, good luck.
Mm-hmm.
All right, case number 26, CEB 04-20-97, Loxley Newton. Good morning.
State your name and address, please.
My name is Loxley Newton.
You sure you're speaking in the microphone?
My name is Loxley Newton.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I swear.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Fitzgerald. We'll hear from Mr. Fitzgerald, and then we'll let you say what you'd like to tell us, okay?
The property is in non-compliance, next cutoff. All he has to do is cut it in. He painted it, but it's just that around the whole building, it's cutting it in and getting it finished off.
Okay.
The water's turned back on?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you live there, Mr. Newton?
No, ma'am.
Is it rented?
No, ma'am. I have a cousin who had a stroke and got divorced. Staying there because people used to vandalize it and moving in there, squatters, police arrest them. I take them to court, get them out, they move back in. So, I mean, I got somebody staying there now to avoid all of that.
All right, so you don't live there, but does somebody live there?
Yes, ma'am. My cousin.
Okay, your cousin lives there. Okay. How many units is this? Or is it just a single-family house?
Yes.
Okay,
Two units.
It's 2 units.
It's 2 units.
So only one person is in the 2
Yes,
units?
in the
Okay.
first. 2 units in the back, right? And
Yes,
a single family in the
that
in the front.
unit is all closed.
Okay.
He asked me to paint it and set it up, which I
Okay,
did.
all right. So we're just here today to find you in compliance or non-compliance. You're obviously working on it, but it's still not quite there yet. So we're going to we'll vote on finding you in non-compliance and give you till the next cutoff date to get it done.
The water.
Excuse me?
They mentioned something about water. The water, it was the city digged up the outside to change the rusty pipe going to the meter. So it wasn't like I didn't have water. It was them doing work out there.
Do you understand that problem, Mr. Fitzgerald?
The water was off, and
But it's on
he has
now.
his account, and it's off.
Yeah, it's on now.
Okay.
So that's not an issue. I think what Mr. Fitzgerald says, the only thing that needs to be done now is just trimming in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where that harrow pointed? Okay, yeah.
Finished.
Okay.
Yeah, finish that off. That's what he's saying needs to be done by the next cutoff.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
All right. The chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in non-compliance or respondent committed to compliance by the next cutoff date, 8/5/2020, or be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day.
So moved.
Second. Motion, Mr. Gonzalez, second, Ms. Himes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. Okay, thank you.
I didn't hear what the cutoff date.
9/2. Just stay in touch with Mr. Fitzgerald. You
Okay.
probably have his card, so
Okay.
when you're ready to have him come look at it, just call him.
Oh, certainly.
Okay.
I'll get that done in a couple of weeks. I didn't know. I thought I was all good, you know.
Yeah, okay. Well,
All
just
right.
finish it off for us.
Are
Thank
you
you.
using the 9/2 cutoff date, not 8/5?
I said 8/5.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Said
just said
8/5.
9/2.
I said next cutoff, didn't I?
Right.
Yeah, but then you said 9/2,
Right.
so 8/5.
I wrote down 8/5.
I thought I
She
said
said
8.
next cutoff.
All right, whatever, but you were clear, it's 8/5. Okay. All right, case number 27, CEB 04-20-96, Nellie Mae Smith. Ms. Smith here?
Yes, she is.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Stage, just pull that microphone down.
Okay.
There you go. And state your name and address, please.
Oh, my name is Nellie Smith, and my address is 1042 Sheridan Road.
Okay. Raise your right hand, please.
Okay.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
There's my house there.
Okay, we're going to let Mr. Fitzgerald explain what the problem is, and then you will get a chance to tell us what's going on too, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Fitzgerald.
Yeah, the property is still in non-compliance, and we're asking for it to be in compliance by the next cutoff. This is the last vehicle that's still on the property at this time. All the other ones have been removed.
Oh, good. Okay, so there's only one
left.
Okay. All right, Ms. Smith, can you get that moved by the next meeting?
Well, he's already bought insurance and put a sticker on it, so they said if he had, you know, a sticker and all on it, you wouldn't, I didn't think you have to move it.
Well, Mr. Fitzgerald, can you explain what the issue is?
It has flat tires, and so it has to be a little bit more than that, and I can't walk on the property and to see if it has a sticker. So if she could supply that to us by the next cutoff, and, you know, if the car is running, does it run?
I don't think it runs, because it's my grandson. It's not my car. I don't even drive. It's my grandson's car. But he told me he had went and bought insurance and a sticker for it.
It's a little bit more than that. The cars have to run, no flats.
Oh, I thought he thought he just had to have, you know,
sticker,
tag and stuff,
No,
and
ma'am.
insurance on it. Okay.
Okay, so now what you need to do is either get that car moved out of there or get it in running order.
Okay.
And that will satisfy the city. And you need to stay in touch with Mr. Fitzgerald. Does anybody have any questions?
Can you
ahead.
just clarify for whether it could be parked there or not if it
Yeah,
was
that's
in
what I
working
was looking at,
condition?
too.
Yeah, it's on the side of the house, behind the front. So it's allowed to be there, but not in that condition. It has to run, be tagged. But yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And are you saying it has to be parked on a drive?
Well,
No, that's the backyard, so.
Backyard, okay.
It can't be parked on the street side yard. It can be parked in the back or on the interior side yard.
Okay.
That was what I wasn't sure about,
Yeah,
but I haven't.
okay. It's hard to tell.
So tires have to be working, car has to be clean, and being able to run, or it needs to go.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is that
All right, well, we have to rule on it, so the chair will entertain motion find respondent non-compliance or respondent come into compliance by the next cutoff date, 8/5/2020, or be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day.
So moved.
Motion, Mr. Gonzalez. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Ms. Himes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like, sign, opposed. Okay, so you have till August 5th to get that car in shape or moved out of there, okay?
Okay.
And then you'll be all square. But make
August
sure you
6th?
stay in touch with Mr. Fitzgerald.
Okay.
Okay.
Is
good.
that all?
That's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Case number 31, which is on the next page, the last one on the next page.
Okay, case number 31 on page 10. We have a lot of people. We'll see who's here out of all the hills and some other people. Good morning.
Good morning.
Where are?
Name
Case
and address, please.
31.
Willis Hill Jr.
Page 10.
540.
All right, wait a minute. What's your name, sir?
Oh, I guess you. Willis Hill Jr.
Okay, your Willis Hill Jr. is here, okay?
This is number
Your
31.
name and-
Robin Hill, his wife.
I'm sorry, did you say Gloria?
Robin Hill,
this one.
his wife.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh,
gotcha.
okay, so you're Willis's wife.
And are you on, you're good.
And who else is here?
I think is
that
your
it?
daughter?
Oh, okay, so she's not going to testify.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Yes, I do.
Okay. All right, we're going to hear from Ms. Kirk, the code officer, and then we'll give you a chance to tell us what's going on too, okay? Ms. Kirk.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Mr. Hill, I notified in October of 19. The green card was signed, certified mail. There's several issues: dilapidated roof, fence, peeling paint. I have had multiple communication with Mr. Hill only, and he's unable to get everybody on board to repair the property. So right now it's non-compliant. I'm asking for the next cutoff.
Okay. All right. Mr. Hill, what would you like to tell us? We're here today just to say whether the house is in non-compliance or compliance. And we look at these pictures and we listen to the testimony from the code officer, and we see that it's not in compliance. So you tell us what you're going to do about that.
Let me speak. Okay, good. I'm gonna let my wife.
Okay, or she can.
Okay, it is a family estate. And we've tried, the other side of the family wanted to sell the property, and he wants to live in the home. We actually lived there 7 years before.
But you don't live there now.
Right, because my nephew got in trouble with his girls, and the state asked me to take her, so the house wasn't in compliance where I could get custody of her. So we moved out and moved to South Daytona. And it took like 2 or 3 years to to adopt. So then now we wanted to go back, but the hurricane had did a lot of damage to the roof. So he was trying to work with, the different organizations to help put a roof on so he could live in the home that Dad left it for the children. And no one wanted to sign. And then his sisters contacted and said that she wanted to sell. Well, then now we find out that it's something like $58,000 lien on the property. I have no idea for what. But so now the property can't be sold, and they're trying to say since he's been in the military, he can get a VA loan and all this, and they just don't understand that the VA doesn't invest in properties like this. It has to be either cash money or you can't get a loan. So our hands are tied. I know the roof she quoted us for the shed, and we contacted a roof on Orchard Street, I think it is, but then when I found out that they were trying to sell it, I don't know, should I fix the roof, the shed, and then what are we gonna do about the house? In the meanwhile, you got us doing all the work, and they added other names to the property, even one that's deceased now. And it's just a lot of legal stuff. But we want to live in the home. We don't want to give it up.
Well, this is something that can't be decided by us. We have no say in what happens in your family or what the trust decides to do with it or the estate decides to do with it. We have no say-so in that. We see that there's a house that needs work. And it won't just be you. The house doesn't get worked on and fixed up or come to some better conclusion than what's been going on. It won't just be you that will be fined. It will be everyone named in this.
Yes, ma'am. I tried to explain that because we actually hired Rice and Rose firm for us.
Okay.
And we had them for like 1.5 years. When the sign went up, we had a buyer and everything. Then his brother passed away in the home along. His mother did.
Which one is his brother on here?
Oh, William. I believe they took his name off because
it's already off.
Yes,
okay.
It's all.
Okay.
His sister did, and then William's wife ended up passing away too, which is Gloria. That's on the list.
Okay.
And I understand it's a hold up with her family. They don't want to sign. All of them live in Atlanta. And he's and his sister's the only ones that's here. And then now they added William to it. And it's just becoming a circle.
Yeah, and I wish we could help you with all that, but we cannot. It is not anything we can do anything about. The only thing that we can say is obviously the house is not in compliance, and we can give you a certain amount of time to get it in compliance, but it doesn't sound like there's any forward movement on this. And this has been since everybody was notified in last October.
I'd like to make a motion that we find them in non-compliance next cutoff.
Okay. All right, Mr. Harrington's made a motion that we find the respondents in non-compliance and order them to come into compliance by the next cutoff date, which is August 5th, 2020, will be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day.
Second.
And Mr. Gonzalez is second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. So you got to get this house fixed up, and we can't help you with any of the other problems. Well, I don't know what to tell you other than that.
How long does it take to lose the house in reference to all this? Like when you say come August 5th, that's just next week or 10 days from now. Okay, then we come back to court. So that I'm in understanding is we come back to court, and then what happens?
Then we will issue, if nothing's been done, we will issue a fine if there hasn't been any movement on it. And then the fine gets, then you'd have to pay. All right, Mr. Jackson, can you explain that? I don't want to get over my head.
Sure. I'm Anthony Jackson, attorney for the city of Daytona Beach. What happens is we would ask for a fine to be imposed. The board generally would impose a fine if nothing has occurred over that on that deadline date. And once the fine is imposed, it would accrue on a daily basis. So if it's $100 per day and 150, I'm sorry, this is a I mean, that's the maximum. But whatever the fine amount is, and so an example, if they elect
$1,000 a day?
That's the maximum fine. It's $1,000 a day. Generally, it's probably going to be a little less than that. But it's just for an example. Let's say it's $100 per day.
Yes, sir.
Then after at $100 per day, and what do we have? 150. Yeah, 150 days. It would max out because it becomes maximum at $15,000 if it's a non-owner occupied property. And once it becomes my maximum fine, once the fine is recorded, 3 months after the recorded date, the city, if they should elect to, can move forward with foreclosure against the property. So that's the process. Okay. The property is encumbered, or it affects any ability to sell or lien or get a loan on the property once these fines are attached.
So like right now, his family is trying to, if they decide to still, they want to continue with trying to sell it, they have to pay the fines, whoever bought the property, am I right?
If the fines are there, yes. And also, these fines are what are called general liens as opposed to specific liens. So they're general to the property, so they go against the property and the property that's owned by everyone that's named. So all property that everyone that's named owned would also be encumbered by the fine until the fine is resolved.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna try and start working. She speak to us really nice. She called us and worked with us. Okay. So there's no problem there. But I'm gonna try to start seeing about trying to get the roof. I think that's the main part that needs to really be addressed first. On the shed, and then just go for that. I'm not saying that it's gonna be all finished, but I'm gonna try to start getting working on it.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am. Did you want
case number 32?
Oh, okay. Case number 32, and that's on page.
The next case.
Page 11. Case number 32. We have someone here. CEB 04-20- 83 Dennis Dale Thomas. No business tax receipt.
Would you state your name and address, please?
Hi, Teresa Michelle Thomas, 1611 Blackwater Road, DeLeon Springs, Florida.
Can you spell your last name?
Thomas, Thomas.
Oh, Thomas. All right. Never mind. Got it.
Michelle?
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Michelle Thomas.
Michelle. Okay.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, we're going to hear from Mr. Garcia first, and then we'll let you speak.
Yes,
ma'am. Good morning, Code Inspector Garcia. My credentials on file. This is just non-compliance next cutoff. We're just looking for her to get her BTR, her business tax receipt.
Okay.
Once she gets that, then we can close it out.
Okay. Ms. Thomas?
Yes.
Have you applied for this? Go ahead.
We've had a multiple state or multiple family license that was issued on August 10th of 1998. Somehow in the system, over the years when they transferred over, y'all went to different systems and stuff, it got brought down to a single family residence. What it is it's kind of a unique piece of property. It has 2 buildings on it, and each building has its own separate address, and they each have their own separate water, their own separate electric, which we pay for. We have families that live in the apartments. The one at 130 has 4 units, and the one on 132 has 3. And now that y'all's new, I guess, licensing rules have changed, the downstairs won't give me a license without going to get a state license.
I see what you're saying, because they consider one property with 7 units, yeah, okay.
Right.
When did you start working on this? This says you were notified 6/14/2019.
When we called the state, they asked me, why are you doing that? Because you have 2 separate addresses. He said, you just need to go
you know,
talk to them.
I'm going to ask this question of Mr. Jackson, Mr. Garcia. The only thing we're asking them to do is get a business tax receipt, which is $250 still. And that will bring them into compliance with the city, correct?
That's correct.
And is there anything that's holding that up?
I'm unaware of anything holding up downstairs.
They're saying they will, I was just downstairs and she said they wouldn't give it to me because there's multiple units, even though it's 2 separate addresses. She said that when they did the 911 system, they combined the 2 properties into a 1 parcel, is what she had said downstairs. So, I mean, I'll be happy to pay the $250 and get it.
But you're saying they won't allow you to do that?
Right. No,
I think we need to continue this case until we get clarification, because I'm very unclear. Maybe, Captain Lee, can you tell me how 911 system can combine properties?
No, I'm not sure that that's what's happened.
Right.
I think it's the same parcel. There was a period of time back before where the city went around and found that there was a need for numbers to be affixed to the houses so that police and EMS could find them more regularly. And there are a series of lots throughout the city that are 1 lot that have multiple addresses on them because they have multiple structures. I believe that's the circumstance here, but I don't know because I haven't seen the actual parcel information in the property appraiser's website.
I think
The main issue about the BT, just to kind of address that, is that from the city's standpoint, it appears as though they can't issue the BT under the circumstance because it's over the rental amount, I mean the number of units amount.
Right.
So she can't apply for the RTL, which then would lead to the BTR. She can't apply for just the BTR unless she has the state license.
Right.
So the state license is what the city's saying, but the state's referring her back to the city. Yes, there is some stuff that needs to be clarified.
Well, at this point, I mean, I'd like to continue the case so we can't help you with these issues.
Right.
But I'd like to continue the case and not find in compliance, or you can't come into compliance, so I don't see how we would find you out of compliance.
I'll be even willing to get 2 separate licenses for each property if you want to.
Yeah, I don't,
No problem.
you know, we can't advise you on what you need to do about that, but what we can do is give you some time to go figure it out.
Okay, we have talked to an attorney.
Okay.
So we were trying to see what this was going to happen.
Okay, is this all right with the city? What, do you want to say?
Yeah, it's not up for a fine anyway. It's the next cutoff. It's just a finding of non-compliance.
We want a non-compliant next.
Yeah. Oh. But they can't comply.
Yeah, but
Why don't we give them at least 60 days to get this we've had a couple of cases like this before, and it took forever to
Right.
get it straightened out.
You have the right. You have the
so
right.
is that a
So
motion?
there's no harm being done anyway.
Okay. So it seems like consensus is just to give them more time to come into compliance, and then we'll deal with it. Like more time as of September 2nd.
Yeah, 9-2.
Continue it.
But is that, my question is, if they can't get a BTR, how can they come into compliance? And do they need a BTR from the city if it's a state issue?
Yes.
Yes, the answer is yes.
The
Okay,
city's
good. That
position
clears-
is that they would
Okay.
need that license to get
You would
the
need
BTR.
that BTR anyway.
Yeah.
But the city would not be responsible for having an inspection, a rental inspection? At that point, it would be a state issue?
Yeah, the state handles the majority of that. We
Right.
do review some of what the
Okay.
state licensed, yeah.
Okay.
But it's not the same as an RTL.
All right, so, Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in noncompliance and order the respondent come into compliance by September 2nd, 2020, or be returned to the board for consideration or a fine of up to $1,000 a day. There's such a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Mrs. Himes, second. Ms. Roby, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like, sign, opposed. Okay, we've given you a couple months to try and get this all straightened out.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, case number 37.
On page 12, case 37, CEB 04-20-73, Louis Della Camara. Good morning.
Good morning.
State your name and address, please.
Louis Della Camera, 558 North Ridgewood Avenue, here in town.
Raise your right hand.
Again, I missed
Do
the
you
case.
solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth,
30
the whole
what?
truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, so it's Louis Della Camera, got it. Okay. We're going to hear from the city first, and then we'll give you an opportunity to speak.
Inspector Garcia, credentials on file, and non-compliance, next cutoff.
Has anything been done?
No.
Oh,
And I had no contact with the owner.
And no contact. Okay, Mr. Della Camera. You were first notified, now do you live in Daytona Beach?
Yes, ma'am.
On Ridgewood, right? On Ridgewood.
I'm in Ridgewood
okay.
at the moment. When this was first done, I was living in St. Augustine Road in
Okay,
Daytona.
all right. But you were first notified almost a year ago.
Yes, ma'am.
What have you done?
In October of that year, I got a notice, and I was under the impression that things were taken care of because I didn't hear anything. I did call the office of code enforcement to give them my new address and phone number. Somebody answered the phone, took the information, said, I'll be in touch. Heard nothing, assumed everything was right and good, and then all this nonsense happened.
Well,
But in the meantime, what you're looking for, according to the letter I saw, more than half of it now has been accomplished. The rubbish and whatnot that you were described has been taken out. The things that were still sitting in the front yard, that I don't think is all that current of a picture. They've been taken out and they're gone, and their work is being done as we speak. The numbers are on the house. The side of the house needs to be pressure washed. I have not got to that. I will do that. That will clean it up. The soffit and fascia, I believe, are all now in compliance. I don't know the last time you were there. The to take a look. And I would love to meet you on the property for a few minutes.
All right,
just to go-
well, you need to obviously get with Mr. Garcia, and he can tell you exactly what needs to be done, what's left to be due.
Yes.
All we're here today, and I don't see a date on those pictures, so I don't know what the date is. Is there a way to tell, Danny?
They say July 10th on the bottom.
You see it on the bottom?
There should be
Oh,
all, yeah, sorry.
Well,
there
that
should be all
was
day.
2019, yeah, so that was,
And
yeah,
If you keep on going, you'll see them updating.
okay. Nevertheless, there's work that still needs to be done.
Yes. I did get a call from him yesterday, a message, but this was the first call I've ever
Okay.
gotten this, and it was yesterday, and it was just stating to call him back. I had not called him back yet.
Okay.
But property has made, there is some outside storage removed. He did in the message state that there was they were doing some kind of salvage scrap they was collecting, and that was why it was like that. But there is stuff still remaining that from the last time I was passed through there, because I got several properties on Fulton, which is during a code walk. That's how I got them all.
May I ask you, does somebody live there?
Yes, ma'am. And I am in full agreement with what the inspector said. Things still need to be done.
All right, so we're only here today to figure out whether you're in compliance and non-compliance, and I think you will agree that you're not in compliance
Yes, ma'am.
yet. You need to stay in touch with Mr. Garcia and make sure you stay in touch with him. It's
Yes,
really
ma'am.
important. And when you get something finished and you're ready to be inspected again, then, call him and he'll come out.
Yes, ma'am.
Or you wanted to meet with him, I'm sure he'll meet with you.
Yes, ma'am.
Motion to find this property in non-compliance, next cutoff.
Also, to make sure you got the correct address, because I had to post this property. The letter
Okay.
came back returned, then I posted it.
What is your mailing address?
My home address,
The one that you received mail at?
558 North Ridgewood Avenue, Daytona Beach, 32114.
32114.
4.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Harrington's made a motion to find the respondent in non-compliance and come into compliance by the next cutoff date, August 5th, or be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000. There a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Gonzalez, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries.
That was next cutoff?
Yeah, August 5th. All right.
Case number 38.
Case number 38, Marie Thornton, CEB 04-20-78. All right, Mrs. Himes is leaving for 1 second. Mrs. Himes is
thank
not
you.
here. All right, we have another person coming?
Yep,
Case
we have
38?
Two
Okay.
more. This should be case 38.
Okay.
State your
Good
name
morning.
and address, please. State your name and address, please.
Marie Thornton, 619 Mulberry Street, Daytona Beach, Florida, 32114.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, well, we're going to hear from Mr. Garcia. We're just here to determine whether you're in compliance or non-compliance today.
Inspector Garcia, credentials on file. This property is still remains in non-compliance. It has a damaged roof and dirt and grime on the exterior. And it's non-compliance next cutoff. And I did speak to the owner one time on the phone. It was several months ago.
Okay. Okay, this, you were notified, do you live there, first of all?
Yes.
You live there, okay. You were notified almost a year ago that there was a problem with the property. Can you tell us what's going on?
Yes, I got the blue tarp is now off. Yes, it's off now, and the roof is done.
The roof has been finished?
Yes.
Okay.
And the blue tarp is off.
Okay. And so so now you just need to get the dirt and grime off the outside of the building.
Oh, okay.
That's what it says, okay? And you need to make sure that you talk to Mr. Garcia so he can come inspect.
Okay.
Now I'm going to ask you one question. Did you get a permit for the roof?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Because that'll speed things up too, so. All right, Mr. Garcia, if you will explain to her what else needs to be done, we can.
Correct. One of the things is make sure that the permit that you received for the roof, make sure it was final, that they called for a final inspection.
Yes, they did.
Okay, that's great. And then the other thing is just paint the exterior. Once you paint the exterior, once you're finished, then you can call me for re-inspection, and then I'll come out and inspect it, and if everything's done, I'll close the case and put you in compliance.
Okay. So I just got to do the stucco. What do you? I need to.
Yeah, the exterior surface, the stucco has to be painted. Whatever has dirt and grime on it, if you pressure clean it and you get it all off, that'll be sufficient as long as you don't peel the paint off within pressure cleaning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Chair will entertain motion to find respondent in non-compliance in order for respondent to come into compliance by the next cutoff date of August 5th, 2020, or be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,019 a day. Motion, Ms. Roby, is there a second? Second, Mr. Gonzalez. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. So that was 4-0. Yeah.
See, I didn't know. Okay.
All right, now what's next?
The last one here is case number 40.
All right.
You're
Okay. You're all good. Just stay in touch with Mr. Garcia, please, okay?
I will.
Okay.
That's good. Wouldn't be.
All right, one more person. Case number 40 CEB 0420-81, Sassy 1. Can you
state at the
Okay. State your name and address for the record, please.
state your name and address, please?
Sassy One Ragayum, 610 South.
Hold the
Ridgewood.
microphone down and speak so it's under your, so we can hear you.
Next month?
Can you hear me?
40.
Yeah, that's better.
Okay.
Your name?
My name is Sassy One Ragayum.
I'm not
Sure.
dear.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Gonzalez is leaving. Ms. Himes is returned.
Thank you.
Inspector Garcia, credentials on file. I've been in contact with the owner for 610 South Ridgewood. She's got a pretty big project here where she's having to pave a large driveway that hasn't been done for years on the property. So she's gotten a contractor. She stated that she got a contractor, and apparently they're working on getting the permits, and she's just submitted some information there, so I don't know what that is yet.
What is the information that you just gave us?
Yes, what is this?
The first time that Mr. Garcia went to the property, and he told me to fix with the painting and all the driveway, and I did.
I can't either.
Can you hear me?
Not too well.
Not too well. I
That's better.
did fix the paint. He came the second time, and he said, you did not do the driveway. And I said, yes, I did not do a thing with my driveway because I got problem with the property, which is very slope from Ridgewood, and it's 65 foot wide on Ridgewood. And the property is at the end of the property line. And if I pave or do something, it will, the water will go right into the buildings, and which was an issue when I acquired 3 years ago. And Mr. Reed Berger showed up not once but twice at my property, and he saw the problem that I had a very narrow property, and if I paved or do something with the parking, I would have the water flooding into the buildings. This is 100 years old. And when I acquired for the licensing, because the old owner has never had, and I did in 2016 when I first acquired, so that's why Mr. Reed came to look at the property. And when Mr. Garcia mentioned about the driveway, I tried to tell him that this is my problem before, and he did not write the second time that he came that he disagreed with the driveway. So I assumed that it was passed until maybe in January this year. And he called me that I will send you to court. And I said, I did not even know. I did not try to fight, but I thought that you passed me, because when you have the second time when he disagreed, which at the same time, the other building that I had, the court enforcement came and had some issue, and he came and he disagreed what I have done, and so he wrote the second time, and then I did it because I did not try to fight, but...
Okay, there's nothing to fight here or not fight at this point. What we're here to do today is to see whether you're in compliance or non-compliance, and according to Mr. Garcia, you're not in compliance, and to city standards, you're not in compliance with it the way it is. So you have to come into compliance somehow, and I can't tell you how to do that. I mean, I understand that you have engineering issues.
Actually, may I?
So there's nothing else that we can actually do about it.
This is what I have to say. In February, when I know that I have to do it, I did immediately contact and finding someone who will write the drawing and get the permit, which I did in February. And then I paid Zahn Engineering.
Yes.
Took him 10 weeks. And I have to push him 10 times because I was afraid of COVID virus. Yeah. To tell you the truth, I wanted to finish it as soon as possible, but it's almost impossible. And I got the plan after I paid $2,500 in June, and we submit. And I could not do it because of the closing of the. So I had to write him. Mr. San had done it. But I'm waiting for the permit, and I checked with my $500 for the permit that the city had withdrawn from my account in June, maybe first or second weeks of June. Up till now, I still do not get the permit, so I cannot do anything.
That's
but
correct.
I try to comply what I have to do.
Okay,
That's
but
all.
you know what you need to do. We're waiting on the city for a permit. But you haven't gotten the permit yet, is that correct?
No, not yet.
Okay, all right. So what so it's obviously the work is not done, so the board will probably vote to find you in non-compliance and give you some time to come into compliance.
I don't quite understand because I'm waiting for almost 4 months. I started in the end of February. And with
I know,
the COVID virus,
we can't get contractors to come to your house. That's not part of our job. Our only duty today to the city is to find you either you're in compliance, which means the driveway is finished, or you're not in compliance, which means the driveway is not finished. That's all we have the power to do today. And that's all we're going to do. And we're going to give you some time to work out these other issues, which unfortunately we can't help you with.
so
you will have to keep talking to Mr. Garcia and let him know what's going on.
I would like to add that we spoken to with her, the owner, and with the code manager, Denzel Sykes, and we allowed her to have a little more time because of the complicated situation she had. and trying to determine with Reed Berger what was made and all. So we gave her a little extra time.
Already?
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Garcia, I just have the picture confuses me. Does that driveway serve multiple properties?
That driveway, what happened is they weren't using the driveway off of Ridgewood because they said it was too dangerous. So they started going off of the next parcel and created another driveway going out to a side road there. I can't remember that road.
This is another
did-
property.
Wait a minute.
They did that without a permit?
Wait, let us finish this conversation.
There was no, what they were doing is they made, it just was the deterioration of the
Right.
grass, the ground, the landscape
Okay.
because of that.
But are there multiple properties served by
Yes,
that
it's multiple
road?
properties.
Wait 1 second, please.
That's what I don't get. And
on somebody
It's the way it is right there. That's how it is. It's a multi-family property right
property
there,
is the picture.
and then a driveway. This is the driveway here
property.
that comes up.
Up
This
to
is another
Ridgewood,
property,
right?
the picture, but this is my property, the property that we are talking about at this point. But,
so are there other
this is a vacant
parcels going to be involved with this thing, or just the one?
No, just this one. She's to repair that one.
Okay, I
Okay,
got it.
so we're just talking about the Ridgewood
Correct.
entrance. We're
Correct.
just talking about the Ridgewood entrance.
Correct.
That's it. Duh.
Yeah, and this all generated from a parking complaint. Parking, and then I noticed that the exterior surface of the.
Okay.
thing.
All right.
That's the survey.
Captain.
She was trying to clarify that corner lot is a separate vacant lot. She provided this map, and that's what she's trying to provide you.
Okay.
Does it belong to her or somebody else?
I don't. I'm not.
Do you own that?
I own that.
Okay.
Used to be two houses that
Yeah.
were burnt down
Okay.
before I bought it.
Okay.
So it's the corner lot, which is the.
Okay. Well, the
vacant lot.
issue is with the driveway that comes off of Ridgewood. That's what the city is looking for you to fix, okay? And so let us vote to find you in compliance or non-compliance. And we'll see how much time we're going to allow you to come into compliance to work out some of these issues, okay? All right, the chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in non-compliance or respondent come into compliance by September 2nd, 2020, or be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 per day.
Second.
Motion, Ms. Roby, second, Mr. Harrington, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Like sign opposed, okay. That's all we've done today. So you keep working on that, okay? Now where are we?
Any more people, Jim?
All about us, what?
Anybody else downstairs?
That's all.
That's it, okay. That's it, so let's go back to the new cases and go through those. The ones we haven't done. What are we gonna start with? I guess we got to start with one, huh?
One, yeah.
Okay. All right. Oh, these aren't new cases, these are,
Continue.
I think we'll do the old cases first, okay.
You gonna do new ones or old?
Yeah, we're gonna start on page 3. Case number 1, CEB 022039. Now, no one's here for these cases, so we'll just hear from code people and then decide what to do. Mr. Harrington's left.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Morning.
Good morning. Jerome McCoy, Code Inspector for the city. My credentials on file. I'm going to be asking to amend this to next cutoff. I have a inspection already scheduled on the 17th of this month.
Okay.
So, and
Good.
they've already,
Okay.
met all the
Good.
prerequisites.
So
All right.
next cutoff, which is 8.
8-5, okay. So the chair will entertain a motion to amend the previous order of noncompliance, allow respondent until 8/5/2020 to come into compliance and be returned to a subsequent meeting for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 per day or until compliance is achieved. Motion, Ms. Roby, is there a second? Second, Ms. Himes, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, case number 2. CEB 0320-53, Rosalie Wiggins Estate. Okay. Good morning, Mr. Reckenzone.
Good morning. My name is Cliff Reckenzone. I'm an inspector. My credentials are on file. 841 School Street. The first date of notified was February 7th, 2019, where a stop work order was hand delivered. Then certified mail for all the violations on the property was mailed out on February 19th of 2019. March 13th, 2019, it was unclaimed and returned back to sender. The property was posted on May 14th, 2019 for the violations, and then posted on March 12th, 2020 for the hearing, for the first hearing. March 12th, on March 12th, the property was found in non-compliance. The property is still, the permits that were on the property have still expired. The new permits have expired on the property, and I've had no contact with the property owner. The city's asking for $100 per day, up to $15,000.
Does anyone live there?
No, it's empty.
Okay, good. Yeah, okay.
Is the owner in town?
The addresses are in town.
Okay, the city's asked for $100 a day. I think that's minimum. It's
I would
obvious.
motion that we accept the city's recommendation.
Okay, 15,000, all right. So, Mr. Gonzalez has made a motion to impose a fine of $100 per day against the respondent effective today and continue until compliance is achieved or reaches a maximum of $15,000. Is there a second for that? Was that Mrs. Himes? Yes. Okay. Mrs. Himes, second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. All right. Case 3, CB 04-19-71. Yvonne Bell. Mr. Reckenzone.
This property is, the roof is being repaired by the city, and it's been held back because there was issues. We finally got a contractor and a permit was pulled. So the city is asking for 90 days to get that work completed.
Why is the city doing the roof?
It's through a program to assist.
Their funds, okay, available.
Yes.
Good. Okay. 90 days would put this, what's 3 months? That would put that at 10/8? Or, I mean, 9/30?
Yeah, 9:30.
Is that enough time?
Yes.
Okay. Chair will entertain motion to amend the previous order of noncompliance and allow respondent until 9/30/2020 to come into compliance and be returned to a subsequent meeting for consideration, fine of up to $1,000 per day. Such a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Ms. Roby, second. Second, Ms. Himes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Case number 4, CEB 020-20-15, Audrey Broxton. Mr. Stanson, good morning.
Good morning. John Stinson, Code Inspector with the City. My qualifications on file. I would like to amend this case to the next cutoff. I've been in contact with this property owner. The parking in the yard issue has been resolved. The peeling paint has been resolved. She still just needs to repair her roof.
Does anyone live there? Do they
Not
live
at this
there?
point. Not
No.
at this point.
Okay.
It was being rented. They stopped doing that. And
Okay. Do they have they pulled a permit?
Not as of yet. I haven't seen one.
But they've done other things to it?
Yes.
Do they indicate that they're going to come pull a permit?
Yes.
Okay. Well, So you're asking to amend to the next cutoff?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Chair will entertain a motion to amend the previous order of noncompliance, allow respondent until August 5th to come into compliance or be returned to a subsequent meeting for consideration of a fine of up to $1,000 a day. Such a motion? Motion, Ms. Roby, second.
Second.
Second, Mr. Gonzalez. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Okay. Page 4. Let's start at the top. Case number 5, CEB 03-20-56.
That property is in compliance 7-2.
Oh, it's in compliance?
Yes.
Cool. Okay. All right. Case number 6, 7-2. In compliance. Case number CEB 03-2056 is in compliance as of 7/2/2020. Case number 6, CEB 03-20-43. Edward and Dolores Alexander, peeling paint, dirt, and grime.
That is also in compliance 7-8.
7/8 property is in compliance.
Keep going, John.
Come on, John.
I'm trying.
Case number 7, CB 09-19-186, Rosalie Riley. Yeah, huh? I knew that'd stop it.
That's not in compliance.
All right. Oh, that's Mr. Fitz. No, is that? No, it's still Mr. Stenson. Okay. Okay.
What?
Which one is that? No, I made some notes here. Which one? This one? Page 4, number 7. This is for one more.
You do?
When
Okay.
See, we also had, this is what they said.
Well, why don't you just go ahead now? We're going to just call a couple-minute recess here. Go ahead.
That's the oxygen.
I know. That's why these lightweight paper ones are much better.
Is the paper one better?
I think so.
Yeah, maybe I got a clock.
Because that gets heavy. The cloth gets heavy.
I gotta switch to paper.
Yeah. Make sure they're not Chinese because those are terrible. back to order. Thank you.
Okay, let's see.
That was what, see, much better, right?
Right,
Okay. All right, so we're at Rosalie. Yeah, I know, say. You just have to try a few.
Yes, Madam
Welcome
Chair.
back.
What's that? And we're back, ma'am? Madam Chair, yes. Madam Chair, members of the board, on this case, this is for imposition of a fine. And this was one we've been dealing with for a while with Ms. Riley, and it went to foreclosure, and that's something she had told us. We were anticipating that.
Right.
It went to foreclosure. There was a foreclosure sale. However, because of the closing of the courts and stuff, the certificate took time before it was issued, and the buyer decided, the bidder who won the bid filed a motion to vacate the sale because they weren't able to get the deed. And so that's still pending. So we're going to ask to continue it because as long as it's not sold, ultimately she can still redeem. So we'll just go ahead and continue to next cutoff for this with the anticipation that we're probably going to ask to dismiss it if indeed it is sold, and then start dealing with, if the foreclosure is complete. Okay. But at this point, it's not complete.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to case number CEB 0919-186. The chair will entertain a motion to continue the case until 8/13/2020.
So moved.
That works, yes. Yes.
Motion, Mr. Gonzalez, is there a second? Second, Ms. Roby. 8/13. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Yeah, because we're just continuing it. All right, case number 8, CEB 03-20-51. Daniel Yancey. Okay. All right, Mr. Fitzgerald.
The property's in non-compliance, and I'm going to be asking for a $100 day fine to a maximum of $10,000.
Okay. No contact, no nothing?
No contact, but
So moved.
Okay. I'm sorry, I was just looking at the pictures. Okay, so to impose a fine of $100 per day against the respondent effective today and continue until compliance is achieved or reaches a maximum of $10,000. Motion made by Mr. Harrington. Second, Ms. Roby. All in favor say aye. Aye. Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Okay. On page 5, we'll go to case number 10, CEB 03-20-48, Victor and Freddie Peralta.
this property is, all the work was done. He hasn't finalized out his permits is all he's got to do, and hasn't done that. $100 a day fine to a maximum of $15,000.
So all the work's done, and the only thing left to do is get the permit
Finalized.
finalized, and then everything else is done?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you spoken to him?
When he was here last time, I told him to get the permits finalized.
Oh, okay. All right. So you're recommending $100 a day?
Yeah.
Up to 15, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd like to reduce that to 50 a day. I don't see the...
I agree.
To 50 a day?
Yes.
If all he needs to do is have an inspection to get the permit.
Well, he did, on one of the permits, failed some items.
Oh, you
And so,
didn't tell me that.
yep, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
that's the city's position is that's all he needs to do is schedule those final inspections, and he's not doing that. It should be a simple process, and usually when that is occurring, it's because they're failing that process or they're worried they're going to fail that process.
If he,
And if I can remember correctly, we stressed that to him.
I absolutely stress that to him.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah, I didn't remember that
if-
case
if-
well
If
enough.
there's failure to comply, then I,
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm sorry, I should have mentioned that.
Okay.
I take it back.
All right, so Chair will entertain a motion to impose fine of $100 per day against the respondent effective today and continue until compliance is achieved or reaches a maximum of $15,000. Such a motion? Second motion, Ms. Roby, second, Mr. Gonzalez. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. All right, case number 11, still Mr. Fitzgerald, CEB 032747, the Rodenbaugh. What can you tell us? Anything done? Any contact?
I have had contact with him in this front of his house. He's a painter, and it's still not done.
Okay.
$100 a day, fined at $10,000. He replaced that board, but the whole house still hasn't been painted.
And this has been for a year?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I guess he can't find a contractor.
Show up.
Sorry.
Chair will entertain a motion to impose a fine of $100 per day against the respondent effective today and continue until compliance is achieved, reaches a maximum of $10,000. Motion, Ms. Roby, second. Second, Ms. Himes. All in favor say aye. Like sign opposed, motion carries. All right, we did 12. Now we're on to page 6. Case 13, CEB 03-20-45, Thomas Veal Trust. What can you tell us, Mr. Fitzgerald?
Yeah, the property's still in non-compliance. And I'm asking for $100 a day, I'm sorry, $100 a day to a maximum of $15,000.
Have you had any contact?
I have. He's pulled some permits for windows, but the last person out there was on 12/9/2019. The rental inspector was out there, and he still had a huge list of issues at that time, and hasn't done them. And the property is rented.
Is it a danger to anyone?
No, he had electricians in there.
Okay.
But he still has to add a GFCI, and that's the only fire.
Okay. Okay, so there are no hazards.
Isn't the windows inoperable?
They're all new now.
Oh, they're all.
He replaced.
So some work has been.
Yes, he's
but-
been working on it. As the tenant pays, he's using that money.
But he doesn't, does he have a rental license?
No, ma'am. There's a rental case on it.
Rental case on it too, okay. Well, what's your pleasure?
I mean, this is under a trust, so what's the gentleman's name that has it?
Thomas H. Veal.
Veal.
Okay, so.
Yeah, it's the same person.
Okay.
All right, so Ms. Himes has made a motion to impose a fine of $100 per day effective today against the respondent and continue until compliance is achieved, which is a maximum of $15K. Is there a second? Second, Mr. Gonzalez. All in favor say aye. Aye. Like sign opposed, motion carries. Case number 14, CEB 03-20-44. Mashunde Brown. Mr. Fitzgerald.
Case number 14 is in compliance today.
Wonderful. Case number 15, CEB 03-20-50. William Leneve. Anything?
Case number 15 is non-compliance, $100 a day to maximum of $10,000.
Okay. No, you spoken to him or?
The last time he was here,
Okay.
he's painted most of the house except for about a 4-foot section right there.
That's all that needs to be painted?
Yes, ma'am.
That's all that needs to be done?
Yes.
4 feet?
Yes.
I'm kind of thinking 4 feet is not worth $100 a day.
200?
Yeah. Oh, Madam Chair.
Did he let you on?
Wait a minute. Go ahead.
Mr. Harrington asked for 100 a day on this or something to get it moving.
No, no, I didn't.
Oh, and he also wanted close-up pictures.
What I asked for was pictures. Yeah.
Yeah, but
And you,
I can only take from the street, so I don't walk on his yard, and I zoomed in as far as I could.
Okay, he wouldn't let you on his property?
No. And so there's the picture with the circle of the 4 feet that's left to be done.
So how much, how much did he actually do?
Yeah, he's pretty much done the rest of the house.
Okay, I have to agree it isn't $100.
Right. I mean, we charge people $100, like no comparison to me, so.
You're supposed to have.
How about $25 a day?
When this property started on
Yeah, a year ago.
A year ago,
I know.
6/17.
I get that.
Yeah.
It just seems 4 feet.
But he had all the time to do it.
That he,
He could have that done in a day, and it's only going to cost him $100.
Done in a day.
Yeah.
So I would motion that we do $25 a day as a fine.
I don't, yeah.
The goal is to make him do it.
Right.
As soon as he finds out $100 a day, he's gonna do it.
Right.
Right.
So it doesn't really make what you do. Actually, the higher the better.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right, well, $100 a day as recommended by the city.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to fine the respondent $100 a day by Mr. Gonzalez and a second by Mrs. Himes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. I'm going to say no. All right, motion carries.
What was the maximum on that?
10. 10,000 up to maximum of 10,000 starting today. Case number, we're on page 7. Case number 16 CEB 0225-2025, Deborah Wilkerson. And it would be Ms. Kirk.
Hello. The property sold on April 10th, 2020.
Oh, okay.
So I have spoken with the new owners, and they've done a little bit of work so far. They were aware that there was an open code case on it when they bought the property. So I was going to request for dismissal and reissue the notice to the new owner.
Okay.
What was your motion?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Would you rather, Sarah, would you rather us do that, or would you rather us just make a motion to change to include a new owner in, and not dismiss it? It's up to you guys.
Yeah.
The second alternative is good. In this situation, me not understanding the whole circumstance, we kind of talked at a distance about the situation. She advised them that it would be dismissed, and so we're fine with the dismissal.
All right.
Let me say this. She advised them that she would be asking for dismissal, and so that's what they.
Try to save you some work, that's all.
All right, so
I'll know that next time. Yeah.
the chair will entertain a motion to request a dismissal of this case and issue a new.
Dismissed, period.
Dismissed, that's it?
That's it.
That's it. That's all we need.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Harrington, the second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Just a motion to dismiss, Ms. Roby and Mr. Harrington.
Thank you.
Okay, so was it Alpine Properties that bought it? Was that? I guess it doesn't matter.
Name, it's Ildiben, ILDIBEN.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. They are local, though.
Yeah,
They
okay.
live in Daytona.
All right.
Can I ask for
17,
clarification, please?
Go ahead.
So what, we dismissed it, and
The
what's,
case against Deborah,
right, what's next?
then the
Let's put up the case.
code enforcement will issue a new order for,
To the new owner?
yeah, to
Right,
the
that-
new owner.
Right, but that would be obviously at the, at the discretion of the inspector and
Right.
depending on the participation and action of the new owner.
Working on it.
Right.
Yeah.
We're not telling the staff to do it.
Right,
We're just dismissing the case, period.
right,
All right,
okay, right, all right.
thank you.
Okay, case number 19, CEV 0320-60, David Schaefer. Okay, Mr. Jones.
Yeah, Mark Jones. This case had a rental inspection on June 19th. It's a duplex, one unit passed, one was missing a screen and a crank for the window, so I'd like to amend the compliance to the next cutoff.
Okay. Okay. Good. All right, Chair will entertain a motion to amend the previous order non-compliance law respondent until 8/5 to come into compliance, be returned to a subsequent meeting for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 per day. Such a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Mr. Harrington, second. Ms. Roby, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. Okay, case number 20, CEV 032059. Kinsey and Debbie Whaley.
This case, they did finally apply for the rental license in March. We have not been able to, with numerous phone calls, be able to schedule a rental inspection. The property is occupied. I'm asking for a fine of $100 a day with a cap of 15.
Have you spoken to them?
No, we've only been able to leave messages on their phone service.
Do you need to get licenses or I mean, did you get?
It's a rental
permits?
license.
Oh, all you
It's a
need-
rental
okay.
is what it is. It's rental
it's
license.
occupied.
And it's occupied. The case opened back in October of last year.
yeah.
Was before the board in March. And as soon as it came before the board, he applied for a rental license. But then we haven't been able to schedule the inspection. We did go a couple months without scheduling inspections, but we haven't been able to schedule
And there's
anything.
been no contact?
No contact, no.
What's your pleasure? Okay. All right, Chair will entertain a motion to impose a fine of $100 per day against the respondent effective today and continue until compliance is achieved or reaches a maximum $15,000.
So moved. Second.
Motion, Ms. Roby, second. Mr. Gonzalez, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. Case number 21, 0B03-20-61, Bobby Caldwell.
This case opened back in September of last year. We've had numerous attempts to inspect the property where we've gone out and no one was there on the inspection date, or we showed up and they wouldn't allow us to enter. This was before the code board back in March. Now the owner is stating as of June 17th, he's now in the process of evicting his tenants. This has had a bit of a history of not being able to get into the property. We're asking for a fine of $100 a day with a cap of 15.
Yeah, this has been going on for a while.
So moved.
Second.
All right, Mr. Harrington has made a motion, Mr. Gonzalez has seconded to impose a fine of $100 per day against the respondent effective today and continue until compliance is achieved or reaches a maximum of $15K. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Okay, so we're moving on back to new cases. This should,
So this next case is the same as Mark's,
Same defendant.
same address.
Yeah.
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 One's a rental and one's a code case.
Right.
Okay,
But it's for the same property.
okay.
That guy gonna be.
So that would be Mr. Fitzgerald's case?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is, okay, this is a code case. Okay.
This would be the same house as you just saw from the rental. And it's non-compliance next cutoff.
Okay.
They've got roof issues and
Is it occupied?
it is.
Remember, he's evicting.
True, okay. New case. The old one just goes out of my head. All right. Chair will entertain motion upon respondent non-compliance or respondent committed to compliance by the next cutoff date, 8/5/2020, be returned to the board for consideration or fine, $1,000 per day. Such a motion? Motion, Ms. Roby, second. Second, Ms. Himes, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. Okay, where are we? 23.
Bobby should have showed up today.
Case number CEB 04-20-69, Donald and Ida Crosby. Compliance or non-compliance?
The property is in non-compliance next cutoff.
Okay. Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent non-compliance or respondent committed to compliance by the next cutoff date, 8/5/2020, be returned to the board for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 per day. Such a motion? Motion, Ms. Roby, second, Mr. Gonzalez. All in favor say aye. Like sign opposed, motion carries. We're done with page 9. Let's see what's on 10. All right. Case number 28, CEB 04-20-87. This would be Sarah's. Estelle Marion Clay.
Okay, this case, I'm seeking finding of noncompliance and for the next cutoff. There was a notification of a green card being signed in May of 19. The owner is deceased on the Volusia County Property Appraiser. The owner, the address is the Angel on Counseling or Angel on Council on Aging, excuse me. No, something.
That's who owns the building now?
Well, I guess there was, when she passed away, it was in litigation. I'm not really exactly for sure, but that was who was listed on the property appraiser. And they asked me to remove their address, which I explained that I can't do that. So we actually looked for any relatives. Officer Lamp also looked on the police side of it. I looked on my side to see if we could find a relative, and we were unable
So the owner of record is the Council on Aging?
Right.
So do we need to reissue this like we did before?
Madam Chair, I'm not sure. I don't think she's saying that the owner of record is Council of Aging. I believe what she's saying is that the tax roll is indicating the Council of Aging on the tax roll. Now, so the property appraiser is saying that that's the responsible party. That doesn't necessarily make them the owner. We don't know. The last owner we have is the owner who is now deceased.
So what do we do? I mean,
owner.
They show her, okay, so in fact, with clarification I'm getting is that the property appraiser is actually still showing Ms. Clay as the owner. It's just showing the care of address at the Council of Aging.
That's who we go after.
I'm sorry?
Whatever the tax rules say.
I'm sorry?
Whatever the tax rules say.
Right, so it's a legal service because we're following the tax roll. So at this point, that's all the information we have in terms of
we're saying
a subsequent
that
individual.
This case is against Ms. Clay.
Somehow, I don't
Yes,
think she's going to pay.
as the listed owner on tax roll.
And she's deceased.
But we have been, Right. So,
Well, if she had, I mean, is it in, when did she die?
Hang on. I'm sorry, Sarah. We know of a court order or information pertaining to the fact that the Council on Aging was to dispose of her asset or deal with that. Was that discussed? Is this that case?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
I should have brought my folder. I didn't bring the folder with the information in it, but.
Yeah. So basically, they were her guardian. Yeah, and they were taking care of her. And as part of that court order, they were to dispose of these assets in accordance with the law. Yeah, yeah. So, and I don't know all the details of that court order, but that's where we're at. And like you said, we've noticed the person on record. Obviously, she's deceased, so she's not going to be held accountable. But this is going to go towards the property, and they have a duty to have taken action in place of her, I guess is the best way to describe it.
So it's like a lawyer, we simply need to notify them.
Power of attorney
Yeah,
for deceased person.
yeah. So we need to,
So we would probably need to
Well,
be
is there an
dismissed
estate,
and then
Sarah?
that case brought against the Council on Aging.
Is there an estate?
I'm sorry?
No.
Is there an estate going on? Is there a probate?
Not that I'm aware of.
we may not have had a will.
Well, obviously, they're not in compliance.
I'm sorry.
Whoever
Find
owns
them
it.
in non-compliance and just send the information that Council on Aging will straighten it out later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we might
Okay.
want to
That's fine
change
with
the
that.
notice, because
That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, I didn't know that, so.
Not
Do we-
compliance to the-
They do have cases like that. People leave them in charge.
Right. Well, as guardians, but that doesn't always mean of the
The
person.
guardianship ends at death.
Right, right.
So if we send it to them, they'll
Guardianship
know
ends at
what
death.
to do.
That's probably why she
It
has
must-
to take their address off.
But if they're not listed on the tax rolls, then they should get the next notice. And somebody from their office needs to show up and
Well,
figure out what they're going to do.
we have no record of any relative. The only people we have are them. If you send it to them, they're going to come back and say, we're not responsible for this.
Okay.
Contact
Okay.
such and such.
Okay,
And that's
They
it.
may give us the right person.
yeah. All right, yeah.
You have something to add, Tony?
oh, I don't know. I didn't hear the conversation.
Well,
but-
what we're thinking is that we just find the person in noncompliance, mail it out to the last known address, and then the people that are responsible or not will either show up or, I mean, you think they're not going to even open the mail? Is that?
Well, actually, and this is interesting. It's been 20 years, but Charlie and I were still together. But when I was at Children and Families, I did handle a few of the this disability due to aging, where the Council of Aging was appointed, or other guardians would be appointed
Right.
to handle their financial affairs.
Right.
And it appears that maybe something like that had happened by the court, so that they had a position, an obligation to handle these affairs on behalf of this person. The answer to whether there's a probate, we have no knowledge of that right now, or an estate, or whether anyone exists, we have no knowledge of anyone existing. So under the standard process, ultimately you're going to have, the sentence distribution type of process. But from the perspective of what the statute provides us, all we have is the last name on the tax roll.
Right.
And that's where we start. And so from a service perspective, we believe we satisfied everything we know and have available to us for the tax roll. And if there's some other information that we obtain between now and when we return, we'll add that additional information.
Find out if there's a probate or not.
Yes, we'll definitely take a look and see if we can come up with
Probably
something.
is, because if that property has to be conveyed, you need a probate.
Right, right.
So can I clarify that we're still sending it
Yes.
to
Yes.
Miss Clay at the P.O. Box?
We'll send it to what the tax roll is provided, even if they say they don't want
Has
it.
the tax roll changed is my question.
Oh, I don't know that answer.
I don't know that answer either.
But
They ain't going to, the post office box is just going to return it to you
Yeah.
if she's deceased.
Yeah, it's coming back, they're all coming back.
Yeah, I would send it to the Council on Aging.
if that's what's in.
Well, we'll check the
Why don't
Volusia,
you
what's
send
recent, I didn't know if there
it
was
comes
any.
back-
Oh, so you're already getting mail back from,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's all coming back, but I didn't know to look in the Volusia County tax roll to see if it had changed. Is
You
it
can
still
do
the
that.
same?
I
You do
believe
that.
so. They didn't get a signed paper.
No.
When she died, the post office closed down her box. They're not gonna
Right.
keep letting her get mail.
Right.
I think that we can find a lot more information for you.
Okay.
I think the
All right.
reality is not.
You want us,
Okay.
you want us to find our non-compliance and,
That's it.
okay.
Carol?
Get more details. for
Okay.
next meeting.
Okay. All right. Mrs. Hyams has made a motion to find respondent non-compliance or respondent committed to compliance by the next cutoff date to be returned to the board for consideration of a fine of $1,000 per day. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Ms. Roby. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Who made the motion?
All those opposed. I'm sorry, I feel really dumb doing this, but, I mean,
You're
I
still
guess,
on the TV.
oh, sorry, well, whatever.
Before we, I don't know if you've already made a,
Yeah, they did. Well, go ahead, we can reconsider.
yeah, because one
All right,
thought
let's
is,
reconsider.
yeah, one thought, something I didn't realize was that the cart was coming back. And if the cart's coming back, we'll feel better at least knowing that we take all of the statutory steps, and we think we may not have taken all those steps in terms of the notice. So we may have to go and post, even though we,
You want to do it now, or you want to do it at the next?
What are we going to do?
He's saying we may not have proper service because of card coming back.
so we'd like to just continue to make sure we have our service
Okay, let's just
complete.
continue the case.
And we may
That
have better
makes a lot
information
more sense to me.
Move to reconsider. Somebody
Okay.
move to make a motion to
to
reconsider.
the next meeting.
All right, Ms. Roby has made a motion to reconsider the case on 8/13/2020.
Second.
Mr. Gonzalez is second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Okay.
Now we need a motion to continue.
Can I have a motion to continue the meeting?
Ms. Roby's made a motion to continue. Mr. Harrington second? Continue this case.
Oh,
What? Okay.
I thought we were going to reconsider it.
We did.
Yeah, that's
Made a motion to
good.
reconsider, and it was adopted. So once that's put back on the table again, the case. You reconsider it now. The motion needs to be continue it.
To continue the case. For
Second.
reconsideration.
Second.
For reconsideration.
Okay, we're going to reconsider the case. The motion has been made to reconsider the case, and it's been seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed. Motion carries. Okay. Case number 29.
I'm sorry if I,
Yeah, we would, now you need a motion to continue the case.
We did.
Yeah, Mr. Roby.
We reconsidered and continued.
Do you have two motions?
We're continued,
We
yes.
have
Okay,
two
all right, good.
motions.
We're good.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't have a vote on the second motion. I don't
All in
have a
favor
vote on the
say
continued.
aye.
Aye.
All right, good.
Like sign opposed.
Got it.
Motion carries. Case number 29. CB 04-20-84. Mr. Larry Sanders, Loomis, 721 Loomis.
This is a non-compliance. I'm asking for the next cutoff. Mr. Sanders, he did apply for 2 permits, they're both of which are under review. They were applied for in May. One is for demolishing the front porch, and the other one is to rebuild it. One is on hold. They're awaiting a survey. But there's, as you can see, there's multiple issues, and there's actually, it's kind of hard to see, but in the back, there's a new addition that was added. So, so just I'm sorry, this is, yep, non-compliance, next cutoff.
Okay.
So moved.
Mr. Harrington's made a motion to find respondent non-compliance or respondent committed compliance by next cutoff date to be returned to the board for consideration of fine to $1,000 a day. Mrs. Hyams second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carried. Viola Cooper. Case number 30, CEB 04-20-86, Lock 330 Lockhart.
Okay, I've had contact with Ms. Cooper. The green card was signed. There's been quite a bit of progress, but there's still some parking issues that, as of yesterday, were not cleared up. So I'm asking, finding a non-compliance to the next cutoff.
He said there was, I mean, it just, the only violation is parking in the yard, and she's still parking in the yard, right?
Right, there
Okay.
were several, like there was a boat, a trailer,
Yeah.
vehicles, so it's, I have a recent picture on there that, the only thing,
No, there's a lot of vehicles.
yeah, so there's still
All right.
some work that needs to be done.
Okay, Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent non-compliance or respondent committed compliance, and the next cutoff date to be returned to the board for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 per day.
Moved.
Mr. Harrington made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Roby, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like, sign, opposed. Motion carries. All right, we're on page 11, case number 33. CEB 04-20-79, Edward White at 634 Mulberry. Mr. Garcia.
Yes, Inspector Garcia, credentials on file. This one, 634 Mulberry, is in non-compliance, next cutoff, and I had no contact with, or I have had contact with Mr. White.
Do you have any pictures?
Any photos there?
Okay. He's getting them. Outside, yeah.
634.
Outside storage, peeling paint.
Yeah,
Parking on grass.
he's made some progress, but very slow.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And this was a complaint generated from neighbor. And,
All right. Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent non-compliance or respondent committed compliance by next cutoff date to be returned to the board for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 per day.
So moved.
Motion, Mr. Roby, second.
Second.
The second, Ms. Himes, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Like, sign, opposed, motion carries. Case number 35 at the bottom of the page, CEB 0420-72 at 349 Fulton.
349 Fulton is also in non-compliance, next cutoff. Spoke to the owner on and off on the property a few times about the same violations, same issues. He's made a little bit of repairs to the retaining wall, but still hasn't quite done yet. He hasn't painted it. He wanted to save it. And then some outside storage, he's got rid of some, but not all.
All right, so next cutoff, right?
That's all. Yes, next cutoff.
Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent non-compliance or respondent committed compliance by next cutoff date to be returned to the board for consideration of fine of $1,000 per day. Such a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Roby made the motion. Second, Mr. Harrington, all in favor say aye. Aye. Like, sign, opposed. Motion carries. Let's go to page 12, case 36, CEB 04-20-76, Lena Kiefer Estate. I'm hoping Lena's alive.
1132 Clearwater is in non-compliance, next cutoff. It's, I have had no contact with them. And they just, this generated from a code walk, and as you can see, it just has faded paint, and there's just nothing has been done.
Nothing.
Nothing at all. I haven't
No
had any contact with them.
nothing. Okay. This is her estate. Okay. Look at that. All right. Chair will entertain a motion to find respondent in non-compliance and or respondent committed compliance on the next cutoff date to be returned to the board for consideration of fine of up to $1,000 per day. Such a motion?
So moved.
Motion, Ms. Roby, second, Mr. Gonzalez. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like, sign, opposed. Motion carries. All right. Down at the bottom of the page. Case number 39, CEB 04-20-82 at 820 North Beach Street. Pinchas and Eva Mama.
Yeah, 820 North Beach Street is non-compliance, next cutoff. I have contact with the owner. The owner had decided what he was going to do was he was going to demolish the property. And within that time, he has not done so. The only thing he's done is just maintain the grass, plant the grass. And he also had a heart attack, but he's out of the hospital. And I spoke to him even after, and he states the same thing, that he still continues to talk about demolishing it, but I haven't even seen any permits.
No one lives there or works there or anything else,
no,
right?
it's vacant.
Empty.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Chair will entertain a motion by respondent non-compliance or respondent to come into compliance by next cutoff date, be returned to the board for consideration, fine of up to $1,000 per day. Such motion?
So moved.
Mr. Gonzalez made the motion. Second? Second, Ms. Roby. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Like sign opposed, motion carries. Anybody got anything else?
I did.
I think we're done.
Do you have anything else, Captain Lee?
Wait a minute.
I just wanted to bring up that we talked about an auto fine earlier, and it's not the city's position that it's not allowable. It creates a lot of back-end problems for us, and one of those issues that can occur, and what you open the door for is that when you do that, you sometimes back somebody in a corner where the next thing they do is they go out and sell that property the next week, and it creates problems. And also, the auto fine, what we find when we try to write that order is the expectation is different around the room, and it's not very clear. And then when we write the order, it's not even clear as we're writing it. So I just caution you against that. And if you do an auto fine, just you be very clear in the order. Like pick a date when it starts, and not use things like next cutoff or things like that, or 60 days, because that date is moving. It depends on when we get the order out, when it's signed by you, those different things.
Okay, so we're talking about the case where we said if you don't come into compliance by such and such a date, you'll get automatically fined. Is that the case we're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah. So we gave him 2 months.
You'd rather bring it back in than make a decision.
Well, I mean, ultimately, it's your guys' decision. I'm just stating what the city's, our staff's
with that then. I think everybody saw issues, and if it's too confusing and there's another way to do it, then we should do it the other way that's not so confusing. So we won't do that again.
I guess our point is we spend a lot of time trying to close the loopholes that people tend to use to avoid being held accountable within this system. And I would hate to get where we accidentally, inadvertently created loopholes that people were using.
Right, I agree.
Take that pen.
I agree that we should be as less confusing as possible.
Right.
But in that case, we've made similar decisions in the past. That's why I made the motion, because we've experienced it before.
Right, no, I understand. That's what I'm trying to express, that those things in the past have created back-end confusion and issues, and I think it's relevant for us to bring that to your attention.
Okay. Now, there's a question about case 8, what we did on case 18. Ms. Himes just wanted to know what we did.
That was one of mine.
Fine.
We did an amended order of non-compliance.
Okay.
For 9/2.
9/2. Okay, 9/2. Okay. Yeah.
Want to remind back 2 weeks from today?
Yes, 2 weeks from today, July 23rd, 9 o'clock, and we should only have new cases.
Well, this procedure seemed to work pretty well.
Yeah, I think so too. You guys did a great job.
You did.
Great. We're glad to hear. If you guys think of anything where we can tweak it or adjust it, we've kind of been making some adjustments as we go through this, but let us know.
Really?
I appreciate what this paper bears. Breathe.
The biggest thing for us is that you guys feel comfortable with the process and come back and want to come back here and do this, because if you're not able to come here, it's a lot more complicated for us, and we can't do it without you guys being, involved in this process. So, one way or another, of course, we're going to figure it out. But
no, I think because I was, I mean, because you explained it to me, I knew how it was going to work. But still, just being here was a lot less stressful or anything than I thought. I mean, I walked in and was immediately comfortable.
Great, that's what we were looking for.
Right, so that worked. Yeah, there you go.
I think that Zooming video was more confusing than this.
Well, it can be,
Than this.
Yeah.
Volusia County can do in Zoom.
It's worked out.
Yeah, it can get complicated when you're trying to have somebody monitor, muting everybody, and then somebody feels they didn't get to speak up, Yeah,
it's challenging.
Yeah, it's challenging, is right, and hopefully we'll be able to keep doing this way.
Volusia County been doing it Zoom.
They're using Zoom or GoTo?
Their Zoom meeting. It's like we look at these screens, like looking at Hollywood Squares. Let people.
Right, it's not bad, I mean, the
County court-
go-to meeting that
court
the
has what,
city
14
did was
minutes?
good.
Yeah.
And that's all on different monitors?
You know, you didn't have, you only had people's names up there. You didn't even have their faces up there, just the person that was running the meeting had their face up there. And they were able to control the microphones, and so that if you wanted a question, you typed it out. So it ran very smoothly that way. I don't know whether that would work for.
I suspect the county has a case volume that's a lot lower than us too, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
They did, captains, they put dividers now between the seats.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that may be the next step, I guess. I don't
They have
know.
dividers between the seats. Well, they did it's good for two reasons. They don't, want to keep them from getting on top of each other.
Yeah.
Have a bad meeting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, build a whole new way of doing things that may stick even when we change
Yeah.
our definition of normal.
All right.
Hope not.
Okay, anything else? Meeting adjourned?
Elbow one.